Greetings, and welcome to the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest, the online live-streamed Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones. I'm your host and Dungeon Master. And this is just a quick introduction to episode 21 of our open beta development process. Join us this evening as our players once again return to Fog Iron Landing to claim the bounty on the troll's head that their fellow guildmates had sacrificed their lives for some sessions in the past. They will acquire new allies and also whispers of strange new occurrences, as well as encounter checks abound. The evening will end on an exciting note, and you'll have to stay tuned to see who lives and who dies and who walks away with a precious stone on this episode of So You Think You Can Quest.
Bring on your goblin holes and band of oaks, hulking zombies and kabobs. They know no troll gonna slow me down, oh no. Go bigger, vicious, ever vicious, so many possibilities. When I swing, I'm a clap on beat thing. Go again, every time my friend, the outcome's always the same. I roll down at one side and clean your hands in twain, because I'm rolling 20s like a 68 Impala. AC doesn't matter, critical damage from my warhammer. I go to big table against every single farm that goes by the walls of my mighty blow. I lay 'em low, yes I lay 'em low.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Sunday episode of So You Think You Can Quest, presented by the Guild of Mazes. I'm your host and Dungeon Master, and this is just a quick introduction to episode 21 of our open beta development process. For those of you who are familiar with this format, this is a Dungeons & Dragons-based game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that also raises money for rotating community charities. Right now, we are helping to fundraise for a patron-nominated charity that the community voted on, and it is by the name of Heads Up Guys. It is a charity that focuses on mental health and specifically battling the pervasive and destructive force of depression. It is a charity that focuses on trying to create resources and awareness for men who are struggling with depression and basically, doing the right thing out there in the world and, hopefully making the world that we live in a better place. So, during this next phase of launch, however, we also now feature an escalating prize pool. So our contestants are currently vying to find their way into the dungeon that lurks underneath the remote mountain town of Hope's Rise on behalf of the Guild of Mazes, their mysterious benefactors who seem to be almost limitless in their resources. Now, of course, they have run into no end of problems in this otherwise simple task. As you can see, we are on episode 21, and that prize has still yet to be claimed. And now we find it has gone all the way up from $500 to $550 now, and it will continue to rise with every episode that goes by as our contestants try to amass the necessary experience, items, resources, and allies in order to once again attempt the feat. As you see, they have already tried it once before and been soundly defeated by an Naga summoned by some sort of interdimensional creature that was able to destroy the adventuring party at the time down to the very last one of them. Of course, in the last few sessions, now taking on a different tact, our party ventured south into the ranchlands of Hope's Rise, only to be turned around rather immediately after an encounter with an ogre tax collector, whom put up a rather brutal fight and almost slayed several members of the party, but pulling through, they were able to keep everyone alive, and profit to the tune of hundreds, if not thousands, of gold pieces at the end of the day once they had pooled together all of the copper and silver found amongst the brute's corpse. Wanting to immediately spend these resources, they turned around and headed back to the Mumbling Mage Inn, a known hotspot in the town's farmlands for where both mercenaries, adventurers, merchants, pilgrims, and all sorts of wayward arrivals from the western approach gather and congregate. Spending the night there, they were plied by some sort of psychic, disembodied force that seemed to emerge from the lake, demanding that they bring it tribute. Being able to shake off its psychic impetus to give up some of their wealth, the party then found themselves in the morning once again being assailed by this voice in their heads, but this time it seemed to be a little bit more begging. It seemed to be almost wheedling and bargaining for this tribute, as if it wasn't getting enough attention, and it was kind of desperate for any form of interaction at all. Trying to figure out exactly what this creature was, other than it constantly shouting in their mind that it was the mighty Norbelung, and what exactly that meant, they followed the creature's beckoning call down into a cavern underneath the waters of the lake behind the Mumbling Mage Inn. Doing battle with some sort of sick and diseased beholderkin that almost killed all of them, they then ran into another beholderkin by the name of Barang, who had stolen the tribute intended for Norbelung from the fighter only maybe a half hour ago, as the fighter then had tried to chase it around through the mist, trying to find its offering for this creature that was shouting in the party's mind constantly. Discovering that this mighty Norbelung was in fact a squid familiar that had betrayed its master and seized a hold of some psionic shard and expanded its consciousness and powers and set up shop down here in the water-filled caverns underneath this lake, the beholder expressed that its master, while remaining anonymous, would be able to reward the party greatly would it be able to defeat Norbelung and return the psionic shard that was its master's so rightfully. Now, not having too many better options at this point, and that beholder's master seeming well networked and resourced, and already aware of the secret dungeon that lurks underneath this township that they otherwise are unaware of, the party was inclined to at least entertain the proposition of Barang. However, split on the practicality of this decision, half of the party has decided to rest down in the caverns underneath the Drake's Tear Lake, and half of the party is now resting more or less comfortably back at the Mumbling Mage Inn. We rejoin our companion Bakrun, the half-orc fighter, as he returns from a smithing errand to find that the entire common room of the Mumbling Mage Inn has been both entranced and now terrified by a woman sitting at a table idly eating her lunch. She is obviously adorned in armor and shield and sword of mighty craftsmanship that seems to almost crackle with magic, even just from this far distance, and though she seems pleasant enough, Bakrun is unsure as to the scene that he has stumbled into. Meanwhile, down in the caverns, our party, while resting and recovering from that beholder fight, begun to hear snickering laughter coming from deep within the mists of that cavern, and now fear greatly for their lives. That's about it. That's the summary of where we are. I hope everyone had a safe and enjoyable week this past week. Big thanks once again to our first official sponsor, Kronos Games and Gifts. You can check them out on Facebook at KronosGG. Thank you everybody who's tuned in to watch us. And without further ado, our contestants are ready and waiting, so I'm gonna get this going. Everyone, welcome to the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest. All right, everybody, we are live, and now everyone can see your faces. So, I'm gonna get the background music started, and I am gonna leave the mysterious, misty, disembodied laughter for the second interaction, because I'm more curious to see exactly what Bakran is going to do with this scene that he has stumbled into, unsure of exactly why the rather formidably armed common room of the Mumbling Mage and all of its guards and mercenaries and adventurers have unanimously squeezed themselves across the space here in order to get as far away from and avoid being anywhere near this woman who seems to be idly chewing on the leg of some sort of like either fowl or perhaps maybe like small animal. It's hard to tell at this point, as she's stripped most of the meat from the bone already and has begun to now work on the plate of root vegetables that lies underneath. Bakran, what would you like to do at this time?
Could you give me her description once again?
So she is more or less adorned in an armor that I didn't actually get to describing in too fine of detail towards the end of last session, as we were just beginning to wind down. But basically how it looks is there are like these very large and rounded gemstones set into many of the surfaces of this armor. It is not too ornate and bulky. It doesn't have 4-inch thick shoulder pauldrons or anything like that. It's built to be fairly form-fitting, but the way that it moves, even as she kind of moves her arms at the table to like peck at her food, you can see that there are many layers that kind of fold in on each other and then extend. The craftsmanship of it, either through magical or mechanical means, is quite immediately impressive. The shield itself is a kite shield in shape, and on its surface you can see that it is etched with the crest of the Kingdom of Delos, which, for those of you who are familiar with the lore, is the closest actual governing body other than the free state of Kylithia, but it is about a half season's journey away to the south. Past that, you would need to roll some sort of check in order to kind of ascertain more about the significance of her garb. Her sword is set on the table next to her, but it's in scabbard, and you can see that the scabbard itself is ornamentally decorated with bands of silver and gold, as well as gemstones that seem to be primarily red in hue.
Yeah, could I do an insight check?
Absolutely. It depends on what you're trying to, gather, but yes, insight, please. If it's of any importance to you, she appears to be, on first glance, human in heritage primarily, though there is perhaps some traces of maybe Goliath or Orc somewhere in her bloodline, as you can see that she's just got this almost olive hue to her skin and has this stoutness that's almost, unmistakable. However, she does not bear the telltale tusks or like pointed ears or a slightly upturned nose that you as a half-orc are, much more familiar with bearing the, almost telltale signs of your heritage. So, past that, she also has a bright red and straight hair that falls past her shoulders. That's about it.
For my insight check, I'd like to know, truly how ornate this set of armor is. Like, is it well maintained? Is it just a full plate? Like, how miraculous is this thing?
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll for that. I would also accept an intelligence check over a wisdom check based on the insight, because both of those things could kind of get you there if you wanted to make, say, a history instead.
I'll stick with the insight
Okay.
because I want to use my zodiac to have advantage on this roll.
Okay. Engaging his custom zodiac, that insight with 13. You're going to gather from this situation that this armor is both ornate and highly functional. There is likelihood as you study it that even though the plates that seem to kind of interlock with one another are thin in nature, you suspect due to the sheen that they have that they are likely tempered with some sort of high durability alloy. And past that, you also can't help but notice that they have sort of an almost like military functionality to them. There's likelihood that this is not the only suit of armor like this, and it is in fact part of a series, not some sort of custom work. Now, whether or not that indicates anything specifically about this person, you're not really sure. But what you can gather with that 13, just looking around the room, is that everybody who's on the other side of this common room right now is not, in fact, like actively in fear of her, in the sense that like she has done something and or caused like some sort of harm. Like there isn't that sort of like almost like active malice. Like you don't see people kind of eyeing each other like, oh, we've got to do something before she gets us. It's more of just this like everybody's eyeing her as if like a ravenous grizzly bear had stepped into the mumbling mage. It's over in the corner. It seems to be minding its own business, but nobody wants to attract its attention for fear that the interaction could go awry. Yet at the same time, everybody cannot help but be transfixed by her every movement. The staff seems to be interacting with her as you study her for a moment, and one of the servers comes by to take away what is now an empty plate of food and also refill her beverage, which she begins to down just immediately, clearly parched and starved from some either physical labor or long journey of some kind.
Well, being rather gregarious,
Gorgarious, I like it.
I'll walk over and strike up a conversation. I'll start with remarking on how wonderful I think I'll be like, oh, a truly magnificent set of arms. I just purchased new armor for myself and a companion. Nothing as remarkable as yours. I'd gladly buy your food and drink for the night if you tell me the tale of how it was created or crafted.
As you do this, you can see everyone is now eyeing you with this equally sort of aghast look, and you can begin to hear whispers start to be exchanged amongst the people who are sort of shoulder to shoulder on the opposite side of this common room from you. You swear you could almost hear the sound of coin exchanging hands. And with that, she will look up calmly from her just midday meal and say, I have no need for the charity of strangers, but sit. I would not turn away any who would show more courage than the lot of these folk. And she will motion disdainfully to the group who is across from her now, cowering.
I'll return her motion and look over at the group and give them a harumph and a snort, and then turn back to her.
My name is Gadara. I come from Delos as a lancer of the kingdom. And I have been sent here on a particular mission, you see. I need to find a path into the mountain ranges, but it seems that almost every available step that is not a sheer grade, some several 100 feet tall of unassailable stone, is guarded by either an encampment of goblins, hobgoblins, orcs, ogres, or something of the like. I've been almost around the entirety of the mountains north of town now, and it seems that these fortifications are only growing. Deluce has much need for me to accomplish my task. You see, the kingdom has an urgent errand, and I find myself the only surviving member of my band at this point. Now, I am curious, what brings you to my table? Is it simply for a tale, or do you have other motivations? You strike me as the kind of person who is in need of the very power that you see before you. As you are correct, this armor, shield, and sword was made both of exceptional material and by the finest smiths. A collaborative effort. Only lancers of the highest rank are allowed to wear this armor in the name of Deluce.
Hi, my name is Buckrangrowl. I belong to a troop called the Guild of Mazes. They give us missions. Our party travels across the land. Being an adventurer myself, I can't help but appreciate great items when I see them. But I don't know what service we could provide to someone of your stature, but if you wish our help after we clear the present matter, I'd be glad to discuss aiding you with my group.
Curious. Exactly what is your present matter? I know of your guild. Deluce has employed you in the past. There are many catacombs beneath our kingdom that we would otherwise still live in fear of were it not for your organization's abilities.
Well, the most pressing thing, some of my companions have found themselves trapped beneath the lake at some strange draconic creatures have pinned them down there. I escaped to the rest of my companions through a portal, but they tell me that the things down there are in battle with some squid creature with some magic rock or something of another. We seek to put an end to that situation, and then after that, we have agreed to help some farmers with a troll problem.
Yes. You, as I'm sure at this point in your exploring of this township, for whatever cause brings you here, have run into the same issue that I find, I imagine, which is that everywhere I look, there seems to be something hiding under a rock or around a tree ready to spring out and try to end the life of anyone who is asking too many questions. She will then shoot her eyes over again to the people across from the common room disdainfully. There are too many secrets in this town, and I'm afraid that the closer I get to the bottom of them, the more dangerous things become. My troop, you see, has been winnowed down to just me after arriving with no less than 50 stout-hearted warriors. Between the orcs and the ogres and the goblins, and particularly the hobgoblins of the southern slope, we have lost many, but I've found that this town also seems to coexist with a certain amount of devilry and malfeasance underneath its foot. You say there is a squid now bothering your companions.
Yeah, a devilish creature who attacks the minds of passerbys. I hear you about the goblinkin, wretched creatures. It seems you can't throw a rock in these parts without hitting trouble.
I would not blame the goblins. They are creatures of their own, just as we are. It is, in fact, I would say, their right to go to war with us as much as ours to go to war with them. It is pity that I have for their kind, as it seems that humanity, as well as the elves and the orcs and the dwarves, have found some ally in each other and decided to exploit that against the goblins.
Fox Driver?
Yeah? What's up?
Did we earlier? Is the tavern quieter or something?
Sorry, you cut out. Is the tavern what?
Quieter, like there's no more sound or something from.
Oh. Let me mess around with the background music there. Thank you very much. But the tavern is quieter in terms of the actual like noise here. It is. You could hear a pin drop in this common room.
Alright, since me and Karini are still in our room, I'm gonna say, Karini, don't you think it's a bit too quiet?
How high up are we? Or will we be
You
able to...
are actually, as you may remember, you had actually had to pay somebody the night before to leave their room. So you're on the first floor. You're almost directly above the common room itself. So as circumstances would have it, you would be pretty aware of the lack of hubbub, as the mumbling mage, being sort of a 24-hour operation, is almost always seeing some amount of coming and going between the nobles, merchants, warriors, adventurers, etc.
Can I roll perception?
Right now it's really weird.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll perception.
Now that you bring it up, I agree. I think it is ominously silent out there. Do you want to go check it out?
Yeah, why not?
All right, while I mean the change is going to be perceptible in terms of it now being quiet downstairs. With that 3 perception, you're sure that everyone has likely just either busied themselves with their lunch or is outside on the porch, as the day is so nice that they've just scattered. It doesn't have the same nuance as Karini. As you start getting down the stairs with that 14 perception, you can almost sense the tension in the air. There's a stillness that appeals to your warrior instincts that just kind of puts your hand near the hilt of your weapon and causes you to just be a little bit more alert. As you are going to come down and out of your room, you will sort of obviously see what's going on pretty immediately. I'm going to touch back to Bakran, though, really quick, as he would have another couple of moments before you two come around the corner and interrupt this conversation. Bakran, did you have... What did you want to say to her, if anything else?
I just keep asking her about her story and stuff. I've got no pressing issue with her, but I'm just interested in her tale, and it seems like she's willing to share it, so I'll listen.
At the point that we sort of transitioned there and Inel had asked about the noise level, she has kind of naturally come to a lull, having explained that she, both her purpose in town to reach the peaks north of town, as well as sort of how she has been confounded by the township, its surrounding area, and all of the creatures that sort of inhabit the wilderness here. She is going to say... forgive me, this does bring me to my point. The Guild of Mazes could be of some service to me, as I understand your organization has quite extensive resources. And Deluce, while a powerful and rising kingdom that will one day rightfully reign over all of Nemothera, seems to find itself taxed on all fronts by our battle to the east with Orm, as well as our local souring of the ocean trade. We've lost quite a few ships at sea recently to storms, and the financial blow has proven enough that I am without the resupply that I would so adequately need to continue my quest. I have been going it alone for some time now. However, I fear I will not be able to overcome an army of hobgoblins entrenched in the cliff faces with knowledge of and use of the secret tunnels and caves that dwell underneath their feet by myself.
Are we present for that, or are we still kind of coming
You
down?
will come around basically the corner as she finishes the sentence of, I doubt I will be able to defeat an army of hobgoblins by myself, is sort of where you come around, and you see that she is sitting there, again, sword on table with her shield as well, talking to Bakran. The situation doesn't seem to be dire, but at the same time, you cannot help but, observe the very real fact that the entirety of the barroom is crammed up against one wall. And now, as I had mentioned earlier, you can actually see with that 14 perception, there are patrons giving bets to one another and odds over what is transpiring at this table right now, as if one of these people is likely to die soon.
Well, I'll leave Bakran to answer that if he wants, or otherwise I'll just kind of come over and join the conversation.
Until I see them as they approach, I was like, it sounds like a noble endeavor indeed to pass through the mountains and clear out the whatever goblin hordes may be there. I've only one voice in our band, but we will discuss the matter, and if they are in agreement, I'm sure we could be of assistance.
Don't we? I come up and I say, Background, don't we already have some quests to do?
Yeah, I told him about those. Oh, this is two of them now. This is an elf, a wizard. I can't speak to his courage, but he has many tricks, as a good wizard should. And this is Karini. She's one of the bravest paladins I've ever met.
All right, and one moment. As you're making this introduction, you are going to, it looks like, oh man, this is fun. So Gale, you are going to be joined by our fifth and rotating contestant this evening, one Esteric Melbulin, the wild magic sorcerer. And I was just rolling to see if maybe they were warping into your conversation there in the Mumbling Mage Inn, but it seems that you will be warping into those mist-filled caverns with our companion Gale Warcrier. And as you finish these introductions and kind of now you're all sort of there in the same conversation, I think this is a good time to actually transition over into what's going on down there in that cave underneath the Drake Tier Lake. So, Gale, Esteric, as you warp in, you are, of course, immediately you have your senses assailed by the nausea that comes with re-manifesting into a corporeal form after having been a sort of disassembled and disembodied consciousness coursing through the astral plane. You are going to quickly get your senses and be surprised not only by the rather off-putting, massive, toothy maw of the drooling barang, the beholderkin that's kind of bobbing there up and down in the air, green scales and yellow eye. It's the central iris, both red and black, and sort of haunting in the mists as it's kind of just as you show up. It says, do you do this often? Turning to Gale, who is more concerned, obviously, by the mysterious laughter that is emerging in the mists around him and does not seem to be tied to any individual particularly.
So as my partner ports in, my other one's gone, mysteriously disappeared. What happened? Where'd you come from? Where'd the other guy go?
I'm trying so hard not to sing a song right now.
Hello? Are you the Guild of Mazes? I thought that there was supposed to be more of us.
Yes, there was. We were down here and they all just disappeared, all within the last few minutes. So, hey, welcome to the team.
It's you and this green guy?
Yeah, so we've been hanging out. We're debating, getting ready to go on a quest with him, but I'm not sure we want to do it with just you and I. So we either need to get the rest of the team down here, or we need to meet up with the rest of the team up there. We just need to determine which direction we need to port.
Yeah, I definitely think we should regroup before making any decisions. I'm just trying to figure out where I am.
All right. The laughter is going to be audible to you as well, Esteric, as soon as you sort of finish sorting out your surrounding. It's going to be quite clear. Oh,
Trying to make an insight check, trying to figure out, like, specifically what that is.
Sure, go ahead. All right, with that 21 insight, you're going to hear that laughter, and with the fact that it's moving around the room in point of origin too quickly to be tied to any one given source, your immediate thought is that this is likely either some illusionary effect or some sort of spirit, ghost, monster, creature of some kind.
I'll turn to Gail. Something. I'm sure you can hear it, but it's either some trick or it's something scary we don't want to be dealing with. Just the two of us. I think whatever's faster, either them coming down or us going up. I think we should do it quick.
Well, there's the portal. It's still open. Let's run for it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go in.
We gotta go. We'll be back.
I'll turn to it.
And they never return.
I'll run back.
And with that, we run for the portal.
All right. So you are just going to immediately take advantage of Inel's still active teleportation ritual for the guild and join them there in the inn?
Yep.
Okay, got it. Last session, it seemed the party was more concerned with with having to somehow get back down underneath the waves after having found out that the mighty Norbelung was the one controlling the waters. But now, not wanting to risk likely being trapped down here without the support of their companions, it seems that they will save this problem for another day and perhaps just learn how to swim. Which means that with a zank and another zank, the two of you are going to rejoin your companions back at the inn, and you will, of course, cause quite a bit of a commotion as the two of you now kind of, port in and rematerialize about 10 feet, 15 feet away from where Inel is currently located. And sort of with a flash of multicolored static, of course, your companions are going to be very familiar with this and hardly blink, whereas Gadara is not going to be as familiar with this, and as soon as she sees the flashes...
Actually, sorry to interrupt you, but the portal was outside the inn.
Oh no, it's attached to you.
Oh, it's...
That's why I was saying you can't use it while you're inside of a rope trick. It's because it's attached to you.
A place.
No, it's centered on you.
Alright.
So that is going to cause her to seize a hold of the sword lying on the table and in a fluid motion produce it from its sheath to reveal that the blade itself has an almost gemstone-like translucent quality, just instantly kind of letting off this sheen of fiery light as it seems to ignite when it hits the air. And she is going to lunge at the teleporting whatever it is, stopping just short of attacking when she realizes that they seem to not be some sort of terrible monster or extra-dimensional horror of some kind, but in fact, at least adventurers familiar enough to those present that they don't react in a similar manner. And then dryly,
Whoa. These are the remaining two companions. It'll be all right. Just hold your blade.
whoa.
Guild of Mazes business. Carry on.
I'm just gonna turn around and ask him like, what are you guys doing here? I thought we were coming to meet you. Why'd y'all come back?
We heard some laughter that was either some trick or some higher being didn't want to deal with it. Just two of us. Also, hello everyone.
Yeah. What happened to the ranger? But glad to make your acquaintance. Good call. Probably getting out of there. We still had quite a while to rest. We're still pretty beat up and licking our wounds from that previous encounter down there. But,
Yeah, you're all
good to meet
bleeding.
you.
I'll give a sigh. I was hoping for someone braver than those who flee at the sound of laughter.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, we're better off together than in two groups. Last time this
enough.
happened, everyone died.
I concur. And
Oh.
weren't you down there with us, Bokran?
What was that?
Weren't you down there with us, Bokran?
Yes, I left before I succumbed to my wounds.
All right. So now we're all together.
Yes, absolutely. You are all together here in the common room of the Mumbling Mage, and Gadara sheathes her sword and rather dryly says, quite the entrance. That will probably get you killed one day. And
It's almost dead right
We'll
now.
see.
We'll see. We'll worry about the other things first. They seem to be more effective at the moment.
I'm gonna turn to Bakrin and just kind of like notice the armor. Just be like, oh, you made out well with the armor, as I see. Can I?
Indeed, 2 splints. Yep, here you go. And I'll hand over the splint I acquired for Karini.
Well, I don't need this chainmail anymore. Can anyone in the group use it?
I don't think so. I'm too skinny, and I don't think it fit my skinny body.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Correct. Sorry?
Will it fit me? I think I might be able to wear
If you're strong enough.
it. You're right. I traded my leather armor for a shield. I wouldn't mind having a chainmail.
Proficient in heavy armor?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
All armor and shields.
Yeah, I'll hand it over. Yeah, chainmail. I'll hand it to Gil.
Maybe you could get dressed up in our room, because I don't think that doing that area is appropriate.
That's not a bad idea.
Sure.
And I think we need to rest to go on our quest tomorrow. Since we're all here, I think we continue with the troll problem. Alright, the new... You don't know about the troll problem. We're going to kill trolls. Or at least try to.
Count me in.
okay. So, with that, do you have any more questions or interactions, I guess, with Gadara, as she does not currently seem to be trying to like sell you anything or actively request anything of you, as she sort of calmly motions again for a server to refill what seems to just be a very stout flagon of just drinking water, actually. And she once again wipes her lips after she's quenched her thirst and says, "If you need to find me, I will be setting up a residence soon here. I've spoken to the owners and I've acquired a small farmhouse to the north, and she will mark it on your map. You can find me there, but if I'm not around, I would recommend not entering the cabin. I will be fortifying it with magic wards, and I don't want to have to find out that all of you are just waiting to ambush me and try and steal what you see in front of you in the night. However, if we can come to a working arrangement, I'm sure the Guild of Mazes and the Lancers of Deluce could be powerful allies."
I mean, you can just call us. I'm sure the Guild of Mazes has a number or something, or maybe carrier pigeons.
I have many things to tend to in the next few days. My priorities may be such that it will slip my mind, and it seems that the lot of you are busy enough. I do not know when it is that you will next be free, but know that the troubles I face are insurmountable at the moment, and I will only be able to do so much reconnaissance and gathering of allies at this moment. Find me later, if you would assail the southern slopes and try to uproot the hobgoblin menace that threatens to potentially shut off overland travel into the mountains themselves.
I mean, I'm always good with killing monsters, even if it is for the greater good, that's even better in my book.
Indeed, and I'll give a nod in the affirmative.
Say, nice meeting you. Sorry for the scare.
All right.
What time is it for tribe?
At this point, it's past midday, but not far. You had all sort of awoken, immediately gotten into some shenanigans, gotten hurt, and then kind of the party had split in order to try and accomplish a long rest in the middle of the day. Which means that right now we're looking at about 3 p.m. relatively in Eidolonian time, which means that you are all going to be able to finish out the rest of this long rest that you're trying to get in right now around 8 or 9 p.m. The encounter roll having been done for that rest, obviously it seems like you'll probably be able to complete it without further disruption, but that's up to the party as far as whether or not they want to travel or remain here at this location.
I say we do the thing we do every night, not dying in dinner. Let's go.
I concur.
All right. So, if that seems to be the consensus, you can while away the rest of your hours, and you will find it again then about 9 p.m., 10 p.m. as the benefits of your long rest take effect. This will, of course, then put you into the awkward position of, do you want to travel at night, or is everyone just going to sleep until 4, 5, 6 in the morning and continue then?
So, do you want to travel at night, guys, or are we sleeping again?
So are we trying to go back to the cave, or are we going somewhere else?
We're going to a little village or camp. I forgot its name.
You are thinking of Fog Iron Landing, as I'm now sort of expanding
Yes, we're
the
going
map.
to Fog Iron Landing. That's like a day of travel, you said?
It is, yeah, it's about a day's journey south of here. If you were on horseback, it would be closer to a half day's journey. It is partially so slow because navigating the rather steep grade of the cliffs headed down can sometimes be treacherous. And then obviously as you get into the forest near the lake on which the town is built, you kind of have to slow down and keep an eye out for the dangers in the wood around you, which does kind of add to your travel time. It's, from your current position, just about 2 encounter checks away. Maybe maybe a third one, depending on the results of one of those first 2, but that's kind of up in the air and a little unknowable at this time. So, thoughts?
I have one thing. As I go to put on this chainmail armor, I realize that it is a little heavier than I thought, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to wear it. Unfortunately. Apparently I'm proficient with medium armor, not heavy.
Yes, and chainmail used to be medium armor in previous editions. I know a lot of people get tripped up by that one. In this one, it is now heavy, though, so unfortunately, you will not be able to use it proficiently.
I'll keep it in the bag.
What is the strongest medium armor?
I believe breastplate is the strongest medium.
I wonder if I could trade this chainmail for a breastplate before we leave. Or is it too late for that?
Oh, I think half plate is actually... No, sorry, take that back. Half plate is the strongest medium. Which, that one's funny to me, is half plate is now a medium armor, but chainmail is now a heavy.
Yeah.
The armors get quite expensive. Chain's shirt might fetch you 50 gold or so, but breastplate would be 8 times that, and half plate double that again.
So you're saying that this heavy chainmail armor is not easily exchangeable for armor I can wear?
Not armor that would be not armor that would be better in the way that you're looking for, I think.
Okay. Then,
It's quite heavy. Would you like me to carry it for you?
that would be ideal. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, I'm such a geek.
It's okay. Worth a try.
It's
You,
basically a blanket for me anyway.
You seem to have some magical protections about you. Those are quite powerful, and anything you might be able to find scale mail that's a little bit better, but that's about it.
I think there's a blacksmith in Forgotten Landing, if I remember correctly.
There is.
Perfect. No problem. If you don't mind carrying it for me, once we get a chance, I wouldn't mind switching that with or adjusting it for something I can actually wear.
So, do you guys want to go now, or we wait until 5 in the morning?
I think traveling by night's probably not the best idea. You can have a nice restful evening and do it first thing in the morning.
Who can the darkness provide doesn't hinder me much. What about the rest of you?
Same.
Yeah.
I can see fine in the dark.
I cannot. I do have a torch though.
That's like saying, "Hey, we're here. We want to be attacked. We are here."
Darkness provides cover for us and our enemies. Let's not give up that advantage if we're to travel through it.
If someone wants to hold my hand, I'm fine going in it.
I would, but I need it for casting.
Or
We could close.
I know. You can get it. You can have a little leash.
We could close half that distance if we so choose. Darkness is, as Bakran said, double-edged sword could also provide us cover.
Honestly, I say we can do it. I think if we are if we are a bit slow, like take our time and try to be sneaky, and continue the rest of the way on the way during the day, we should be good.
What time is it again?
Right now it's about 10 p.m.
Okay. And just a quick question. With carry weight, how much weight would I, in theory, be able to carry?
Your strength, I believe, is 18?
15.
15. So with that, you can. There are formula for it to figure that out in the that you can just look up. But I don't necessarily hold people strictly to carry weight, as I think it's just a way to it adds so much more cumbersome like bookkeeping to the game. In this case, you could carry that chainmail, but it is something that you will not be able to carry much else with only a 15 strength. If in addition to say your armor and all of the things that you need in order to be battle effective.
So I'm just trying to figure out if I think we should probably just try and offload this then real quick back of that armor.
Yeah.
Just take some gold for it, or try to sell it in the tavern maybe to somebody. I'm not sure.
Does our new friend possess a silver tongue? Can he get a better price for what we have to trade than?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can haggle.
Very well. I need no long rest, and I've already made the journey once. I see no reason I should toil away the rest of my day. If you wish to accompany me back to the Vengeance River Cutlery, I'll make the trip again. They gave me this dagger as a show of good faith when I traded with them before, and I'll show them the jeweled dagger that they gave me, the kind of ornament.
You think they're still open?
It's 2 in the afternoon. If they are
you have
open,
finished resting. It is 10.
oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm up to go anywhere. I don't care.
Well, let's go, but sneakily. We do a couple hours and be sneaky, and when the sun is up, let's run like hell.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. We'll go slowly in the darkness, but it will provide some cover.
Alright, I say Karini in front, Buckran in the back, and the 3 spellcasters in the middle.
Sounds good.
I can be dead in the middle. I will be able to see, but I can walk forward.
Okay. If that is the case, then, and it seems everyone will be setting out this evening, go ahead and one of you will give me an encounter roll. Soon I will be modifying the encounter roll system kind of heavily in the upcoming beta update, but for now I am using the standard method. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with this channel's practices, I have developed a proprietary encounter roll system in which the party rolls a D100 and I roll an opposed one in order to maintain the mystery of the potential for what exactly might befall them. Then, consulting my Book of Death, containing hundreds of possible encounters, I figure out exactly what it is that our party might be running afoul of in their journey south now to Fog Iron Landing. Okay, it seems that we are here. All right. It seems that as you begin your journey south, you are going to find that you make it a good distance on the roads now here in the night, mostly abandoned as the people of the Rise know better than to travel during such a time, and are going to allow you to, without interruption, get to basically right about here in this crossroads that you may be more familiar with from a previous session in which you stayed at the Land's End Inn, and there was a destructive fight between some tieflings and what you believe to be either some Genasi or some Aasimar, who ended up destroying the entire multi-level inn in a massive structure, in a massive showcase of both magic and martial prowess. Here, now, as the sun is coming up and you sort of make the descent from this cliff face into the crossroads here in the southern ranchlands, you will find that the Land's End Inn is busy in reconstruction. A large portion of it has sort of now extended itself rather than upwards but outwards in the new construction, bringing now a much more ranch style to the building, whereas before it was close to 9 or 10 floors of teetering, ill-crafted expansions stacked on top of each other. Having seen the wreckage that caused, it seems that the owners are now perhaps going for something that's a little less vertical. Now, that is going to also, at this intersection, yield the presence of a pretty immediately startling scene where there seems to be a crowd of peasants who have gathered around an individual who is wearing a rather kind of intimidating looking half plate of some kind, fully sporting both like spikes and effigies of skulls, as well as this darkened hue to it. They look all the pieces of an evil warrior or someone who may or may not be trying to strike fear into the hearts of others. But it seems that as you're sort of descending into this scene from the slope that you're on, that the crowd is not concerned for their lives, but more fascinated to hear this individual's tale, as he seems to be, by lantern light, regaling them with the circumstances that led to the death of the creature that is sprawled out at his feet. There is what looks to be head of some kind of likely dragon or lizardkin, a massive creature there now in the middle of that crowd at his feet, and it is fresh enough that there is still some of the creature's foul blood pooling out of the wound in its neck where it was decapitated. The man is boasting a rather impressive-looking axe strapped to his back, large enough that you are amazed that anyone could effectively wield it in combat, as it seems to be almost comically oversized for an individual of his stature. That is what you see as you're descending. Obviously, the crowd doesn't really pay much attention to the 4 or 5 of you traveling early in the morning, heading south into the ranch lands. As farmers being early risers, there's nothing really peculiar about this scene at all. You're welcome to stop and engage with this, or do what you like. Party, what would you do?
Continue walking.
Before anything else, I'll be like, Karini, another thing I acquired from the Vengeance River Cutlery, and I'll hand them 5 javelins.
Ah, thank you.
And should we get involved with that?
It's just a warrior boasting. They do what they do, we do what we do. And we continue walking. If nobody wants anything.
I'll stop for a second just to take a look at what it is and just go, all right, keep going.
All right. Are you interested in trying to determine what the creature is? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Sorry, you cut out there for a second. No or yes?
Yeah, not particularly.
Okay, got it. You're just sort of offering sort of just the cursory sort of lip service and then moving on. Anyone else at all interested in this going on, or does the party find themselves with too pressing of an errand to be waylaid by such frivolous, braggadocious behavior on behalf of this monster slayer?
We are sorry, DM, but we are skipping the encounter.
Oh!
Vengeance is a powerful drug. Karini's gonna march on.
Vengeance is a powerful drug indeed. All right. There is nothing to apologize to me for, as who knows, that adventurer may have been giving out free magic items and gold won from the creature's hoard. The lot of you may have just passed up on what would have been otherwise a very important and necessary boon in your quest. That does mean that I am going to need another encounter check if the party is going to now proceed on to Fog Iron Landing. Having decided to leave at night and not extend your stay at the inn, that means that you will be able to make it there in just the 2 encounter checks rather than risking that third one. I'm seeing that 28 on behalf of Karini. I'm going to roll on my side of things, and then consult the Book of Death.
I need to see that book in big picture one day.
It's the cover is actually the same thing that the stones, the one the black book with the Triskelion swirls on it that you see. That's what the cover of this thing looks like. No,
Nice.
Boom, boom, boom. That is.
I assume we're keeping the same marching order, even though sun's up.
Yep.
You are going to Oh, man. Make it to about... Let me grab the token. About here, actually. Down past some of the last farmsteads, and now entering into the mist-cloaked and rather dark, verdant wood ahead of you. You, Karini specifically, remember this passage well, as this was where you first encountered those trolls, and watched as you were both underprepared for their savagery and also the lives that were lost on behalf of your companions. So that is going to bring you now to be looking ahead in the road and scanning the just horizon of the tree line, constantly looking for any amount of movement or the noise of snapping branches or anything of the like. So that is going to result in you spotting out there in the wilderness what looks to be like some sort of set of bulbous eyes kind of shimmering in the shadow of a tree, looking out at you, kind of blinking for a moment, and then they will retreat into the mist of the wood. And at first you think perhaps it is a trick of the light, as well as it is just an innocent enough forest creature of some kind. But then after another moment you see the same set of eyes again, now further down in the tree line. It's kind of gaze almost haunting, and you can't make out exactly what it is attached to, but you seem to get the faint silhouette of some kind of nondescript humanoid. But that is about it before again the bulbous eyes disappear. Karini, what do you want to do?
Just kind of turn my head around to the party and just relay that to them and tell them to be prepared that we're well into Mistral territory now.
I cast Mage Armor on myself.
I cast Mage Armor on myself as well.
Noted.
Can I do a perception check to try and see what he saw?
Absolutely.
I'd be able to maybe roll one as well just to see if I can make out anything else.
Please. Ooh, natural 20. Very interesting. Wait,
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think
you wouldn't have had advantage on that, would you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, so that it's just the 11, and then Karini got the 17, however. So the 11 is not going to yield you the necessary results to catch a glimpse, but Karini, now peering yet deeper into the woods, based on those areas, you are going to see this creature in a little bit more stark relief, and the description of kind of a non-distinct humanoid is actually more spot on than you had realized, as you'll see that this creature now has sort of this almost featureless face. Except for the eyes, there seems to be no nose and no mouth. As well, they have kind of this soft skin texture that bears the general resemblance of an androgynous person, but there are no ears, there is no hair. They do not even appear to be wearing clothes. The thing that startles you most, however, about this, as you're sort of getting an idea of what this creature could be, and you think that it might be some sort of fae or some sort of spirit of some kind, you see that it is clutching in its hand what looks to be a very sinister hook of some kind, likely carved out of stone, judging by the way that it has sort of this matte, reflective quality. And it is sort of idly thumbing the tip of this hook with one of its fingers, as if kind of testing the sharpness of its point. And you cannot help but feel like this is not the way that his kind say hello.
combat formation, guys.
So does just Karini see this at this point?
I'll relay that to the party.
I step back 30 feet.
All right. It's worth noting that the tree line at this point is some like 100, almost 200 feet away in areas. So this creature is in by no means like within immediate threat range of you. It seems to also now, Karini, as you kind of make your companions aware of its presence and they all begin looking for it, it seems to almost just briefly step into view, deliberately taunting you with its presence, before then making a deliberate display of raising one of its bony, only 3-fingered hand to where its lips would be, as if to make a shushing sound, but with no other expressions other than sort of the emotionless, vast eyes that are almost practically on different sides of its head. They are far enough apart. And then with that and a shimmer, it will begin to disappear from the visible spectrum, as if only to make you aware of its presence and that it is watching you.
Well, I'll kind of turn to the party and explain that basically everything I saw, and also that if we're going to continue on, we really shouldn't go into the forest, especially not the one that one's creeping around in, but the trolls that we encountered and almost got entirely wiped out by reside in these forests. We really need to stick to the path if we're going to continue.
Alright, keep your eyes peeled, guys.
I'll make some orcish obscene gesture in the direction of where Karini pointed the thing out.
I would like to do an Arcana check with Karini description, if I could identify what kind of creature this is.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. And I rude orcish gesture noted. Let's see where that Arcana check ends. That's going to be a 10. So with that, based on Karini's description, you're sort of the same boat as Karini's initial appraisal. It is likely either some kind of creature from the Feywild, or now, based on its more sinister behavior, perhaps one of the Malfey that comes from the Shadow Realms on the other side of the spectrum of energy that sort of surrounds the material plane, where the Malfey come from. And you know particularly at this point, Inel, from your past experiences, that the leader of these mist trolls also seems to have been reported as one kind of very dapper looking, almost civilized troll of some kind, that carried with it these very almost haunting melodic songs that it would whistle to itself in the woods, as well as just generally the suspect from the people of Fog Iron Landing that it was from a portal to the Feywild. Now, this creature, you don't know. That's about as good as you get, based on the fact that it seemed to kind of be like androgynous and thin and very like kind of wispy and almost maybe elven, were it not for the like way that its face was disfigured. But with the description of its eyes and noseless and mouthless face, you think that it might be some more alien creature of some kind, but that is as far as your Arcana will get you there.
Being as I'm, I guess, kind of in the Department of Monsters and Malefactors, and also I've had experience with these trolls, could I roll like history?
And since
you certainly are you trying to identify the creature, or are you trying to just rule out it being a troll?
Trying to figure out, if it's probably linked to the trolls, or maybe I've come across it in studies at the guild.
Sure, I'd take a nature or a history check in that case.
Speaking of background, since I'm with my background of portals and things, wouldn't I add an advantage on the roll, or
not in this instance, unfortunately, due to the fact that you don't necessarily, like, without more information about it, you don't even necessarily know if this is from another plane. 16 history from Karini. Being from the Department of Monsters and Malefactors and having that 16, That is going to allow you to recall from your studies in the books that you had to pore over in your days as a guild initiate, that likely that creature, based on its size and shape, was a shapeshifter of some kind. The way that its kind of androgynous features and the way that its skin sort of almost seemed supernaturally supple and then was able to disappear itself casually from view. You know that there are many legends surrounding creatures of shape-shifting variety, as it's very difficult to really pin down like what shapeshifters are from where, because of the fact that, well, they can shapeshift. But you seem to remember some description about creatures that resembled that dwelled not in the Feywild, but on the ethereal plane. The plane of ghosts and undeath. Something about it and its eyes, when you think about it, it almost seemed like it was looking not only at you, but almost as if it was staring into your soul.
I told you, these woods are haunted. I'm keeping my eyes peeled at the edge of the woods, just looking around, make sure I don't, looking for anything else that moves.
How far away would you say it was, approximately?
It's about it's a little over 100.
Okay. If I were to use Divine Sense, because it just kind of says until the end of my next turn, I assume that's just kind of like I can't really use that in a kind of aura as we walk way.
You can activate it, but at the distance that it is, you know that it likely would not yield you any results.
Sorry, I'll try and clarify. I can't. So I'm not trying to detect it currently. I'm just saying, like, as we continued on, I couldn't use it as like a full-time radar.
No, it's sort of just like a ping. You sort of send out like that one initial like echolocation and get your the perceptions back, as well as like kind of the visuals. And so yeah, you'd have to choose the moment, unfortunately.
Okay. I'll just turn to the party and just kind of tell them what I believe that creature is, and just say, again, be alert. That's far from our only worries in this area, especially with the minstrels. Let's continue on.
Everyone, keep your eyes peeled, and we continue to walk. That's all right.
Okay.
Onward we go.
Got it.
As we're walking, I'm gonna do a minor illusion 30 feet behind me, like as close to the trees as I can. I want to make like the sound of like a dying deer or something to see if it'll distract it or something.
Okay, got it.
You tell us that.
What?
Are you telling us that?
Yeah, I just did it.
All right. So the lot of you are obviously going to hear the sound of that dying deer.
Oh, what the hell is that?
Don't worry about it. Just
That's
keep
what
going.
dying deers sound like. I've decided. Yes.
Right. So I'll do a perception check for the until we go to Fall Guy Run landing.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that perception check then, as you all approach Fog Iron Landing. Rather, uneventfully as it would happen, these rolls, encounter-wise, is seeming to be things that the party was capable of either skipping or will have to certainly deal with later. Whether or not they will be immediate troubles or they will strike when the party least expects it, they will just have to sleep with one eye open, I guess.
I always do.
That 14 is going to yield pretty much just a sense of safety as you arrive into town and you begin to hear the hammering of and pickaxes of the miners breaking down coal to be loaded up onto wagons and into the various smelting furnaces. The waves of the lake do not seem to be disturbed at all at this time, as you, Inel, had, previously come to look out for that, and you don't see any other signs on the road of recent activity. No, dead travelers. There's not any trees or that have been, otherwise knocked over, or signs of scuffle along the road. You feel fairly safe, honestly, as you begin to complete your journey. The description of that creature that was looking at the party still kind of haunting you in the back of your mind, as if you can't quite get it out of your imagination. But for the time being, there are enough horrors in your imagination that you're gonna have to just move on. Welcome now back to Fog Iron Landing, everyone, as it has been some in-game close to, I think, about a week and a half since you've been here, as well as out of game almost a month, really, plus, as our party members were unfortunately torn apart on the edges of the Mist Troll camp some sessions ago. So, party, you arrive, and due to your previous night's departure, you're going to get here at about 2 in the afternoon, 2 to 3. All of you are going to be rather tired, but not currently taking any penalties or levels of exhaustion. You are going to be, eager to find a place to bed down sooner than later, otherwise risk those levels of exhaustion. But for the time being, welcome to the small township. You may remember there is a humble amount of farmers here, barely even a main street, and a watchtower that occupies the center of this little township that is its largest structure and kind of looms over the rest of them. What would you, at this point, like to do, everyone, as you arrive?
I think... Go ahead.
Sorry, you said there was a blacksmith, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Any kind of armor? I would like to approach them and see if they're willing to take the armor off my hands.
The chainmail?
Chainmail.
All right.
Yeah, we have 2 sets.
One moment.
Buckern, will you come with me, please? You still have the Ed, right?
Of course, but let's
okay.
not make the mistake of splitting up quite so fast. But,
all right, yep. Good idea. I don't want to be...
So,
I'm going to go with the armor to see if I can talk him into making some for me.
for the chainmail, they will offer to buy it from you for just 35 gold.
35. Wait, how about 45?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion roll, Karini, as you attempt to, illustrate the finer elements of its craftsmanship.
Some good old haggling.
All right, with an 11, you're going to be able to, get them to admit that 35 was a bit of a low ball, but they're still going to not want to come up to your demand, and they'll meet you at 40.
I'll turn to Bakker and, you think 40? 40 sounds good.
I'm pretty bad with these endeavors. Maybe our new friend could tell you more, but 40 seems fine to me. I don't have any use for it myself.
Any gold's better than some gold, and we really need to shed the weight.
So we're
Okay, so 40, I guess? Yeah. That's fine with me.
For each set, right? Did I hear we had 2?
Yeah, sorry. That is for each set, right?
Yeah, I'll hand over the chainmail for 40 gold.
Guys, I remember something.
What do you remember?
I owe money to some witch in the wood.
Yep.
To avoid her.
I don't think we can.
How much money? What?
I mean, she only said to come back with more money that you. I'm gonna say that. We paid for some holy water to kill the trolls, and we didn't have enough money. And she said that we should come back with more than when we pay for. So I think that maybe 1 gold more should be enough. I'm every other compatriot that I have at that moment died, so I think I should pay for this.
What's the actual debt?
I don't remember actually.
Well,
I think
didn't
it was,
make the
I
deal
think it
with
was like I think it was like a 12 gold, 10 or 12 gold, if I
You
remember
said-
correctly.
She gave you holy water. Anything that you can have to help defeat the trolls. Any weapons, items, anything. I think is
No,
worth.
well, yeah, but the thing is that we kind of lost those.
Could we get more from her?
I don't think we should, but we could.
Okay.
How much gold do you have?
what kind of trolls are
18.
these? That holy water purifies them. Are they some
Mistrals, they're called, if I remember correctly. And
Are
fire
they?
fire and acid doesn't hurt them like regular trolls.
Huh.
But radiance is effective.
Yeah, radiant is the thing. They cannot regenerate with radiant. So we need you. That's why you have the healing potion.
Indeed.
And I think we should get the head to the guy, go to sleep, go to the witch, go back to the guy to get our army.
The
And-
miners.
The miner, yeah.
The miners.
Make one step at a time.
Yeah, let's see what the miners were gonna give us. They were supposed to give us something to help deal with the trolls, correct?
I remember talking to a group of miners that had approached you. Whether or not there was a explicit deal struck, that will kind of be something that you're going to have to find out. As nobody took down any names or locations or anything of that matter in order to find these people again. So you now have the bounty that they requested, but you are kind of scratching your head as to where you're going to locate these individuals that had previously sort of promised that they might be able to help you should you, put forth this effort of slaying these trolls that have otherwise been just ruining the operations and striking terror into the hearts of all of the farmsteaders down here in Fog Iron Landing.
I'm going to go see a miner. If there one around here, I'm gonna get the group to go with me and talk to a miner.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Is there any miner close, Fire Scribe?
There are miners all over this town, as that is the primary occupation of everybody here in Fog Iron Landing. As this massive, almost kind of mesa-like rock formation here to the north of the town is hundreds of feet tall, and there is both a mining encampment on the top that runs all the way through the structure and comes out down here at the base of it. The internal mine, to produce, judging by the vast amount of people here, quite a bit of usable ore. So the question is not really are there miners around, but just who do you want to talk to?
I'm gonna go to a random miner and say, "Hey, can I talk to your boss?"
They're going to look at you and who? Why?
I killed a troll.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure. Well, that's good news. Almost astounding, really. We've been struggling to deal with those menaces, but I can't help you. I only pull the ore out of the ground. I'm not a guard or any of the higher ups. You'd have to go talk to, I imagine, one of the folks in the office.
Where's the office?
Which one?
Which one is the closest?
He is going to, let me roll here. There are a few mining operations down here in Fog Iron Landing. And it looks like he is going to direct you to the Cloudforge Ironworkers Guild. They are going to be fairly easily identifiable, as their signage seems to be the most prominent and visible, as their mining company's like central office is going to be sort of this bright blue color with all of these sort of like stunning dark blue highlights painted on the window sills and door frames. It sort of sticks out like a little bit of a sore thumb, but in this case it does make it easy enough for you to find.
I knock on the door when we get there. Guild of Mazes.
All right. This mining company like office is a large multi-storied structure that's also connected to some rather like large warehouse structures that have open bay doors and tracts for mine carts that are actively coming in and out of them. So this area is surrounded by, but filled with dozens and dozens of workers, as well as the actual office that you're like approaching has people coming and going from it in a steady flow. So as you walk up, there really isn't any knocking of any doors required. You are going to be easily sort of caught at the door by one of the company representatives who is wearing sort of a telltale light blue like both tunic and matching leggings as well as belt. And this person, who you are going to immediately probably identify as a genasi due to the way that their hair seems to flow in and actively sort of bob idly in the currents of the air, and their skin color resembles that of the sky on a clear day. Though you must, admit that it has been a while since you've seen the sky on a clear day, since you've come to Hope's Rise and been forced to dwell underneath its infernal mists. This individual will say, I'm sorry, who did you say that you were with?
The Guild of Mazes.
Yes. He's going to produce a small piece of paper from his pocket and unfold it, and all right, Guild of them, weights and measures, mazes. Here we go. So,
Did you say weight and measure?
What?
You say the Guild of Weight and Measure?
I'm sorry. I don't think I said something of that nature. I was merely going through my itinerary here.
So you haven't. Cut the crap, please. We killed a troll for you. We have to be honest.
I don't... You killed a troll for us? I don't know if the company has any currently outstanding bounties on trolls. I think we've deferred most of that work to the guard. I'm a little confused here.
Goddamn. Sorry, wrong house. Can you please tell us where the head of the guard is?
You'll find the guards at the watchtower at the center of town if they're not out doing patrol. But hold on. You killed a troll?
Yes, we did.
We're gonna kill a lot more.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have been having problems with these lately. I'm not the one that you'll want to talk to, but if you're all willing to wait here for a moment.
Why will we wait? Or we could just go to see the head of the guard. Is there a problem? Be honest.
There's no problem. It's just hold on. We're very busy around here. I'm just a coordinator. I will go speak with the foreman immediately, and we'll get this sorted out. She's a busy woman, but she's sure to be around.
Sure. Go ahead. We'll stay here for now.
Thank you.
All right. If you are going to hang out there, you will find it takes about 10 minutes for this individual to return with yet another genasi, likely from the elemental plane of air. She is going to have
Do I recognize her or?
the organizer is going to return, yes, with another
Do I
genasi.
recognize her?
Oh,
Like,
do you recognize? Sorry. No, I get it. Go ahead. Give me just take an intelligence check or a wisdom, either to see if you can recall her face, either from something you've read or from personal experiences.
So, D20 plus 4.
Okay. So with a 14, Inel, you are not going to recognize her. She doesn't seem to, really strike anything in your memory. You don't seem to have run into her before. Though you do feel like I'm trying to think of the way that her complexion is, you feel as if you've likely seen other genasi of her specific bloodline maybe around town, like family members, as she has a kind of particular hue of blue to her hair and skin, as well as nails and eyes, that is fairly startling and uncommon. It's almost as if she's not an air genasi at all. But then this is going to be just so much idle speculation, as she will immediately, kind of with a very serious look on her face, say, "So I've been informed that you have killed a troll on behalf of our company."
Actually, I don't remember on which behalf. I just someone told us to kill a troll, bring back ahead, and they'll give us some soldiers and some tools and items to kill more troll and gold. So that's why I'm here with my compatriots. And revenge. Revenge is also a good thing.
She will look from you, Inel, to the rest of the compatriots there. Is this true?
Balgren, please, you have dead.
Yeah, I'll present said ripe troll head.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, so I'm to understand that there was some sort of promise made to you on behalf of someone in this company, which I cannot say that I have any recollection of, but I'm not here to dispute those matters. What I am interested in is merely keeping my operations safe and solvent. I have exports that are being derailed and otherwise confiscated by trolls. I'm losing workers and guards. And this is the first I've seen in days now of any progress against these creatures. You are not the first to kill one, but you are one of the only now, especially those who would live to tell the tale. I'm sure that this was not an easy endeavor for you. However, we should not have this discussion in public. Join me. There are prying eyes everywhere around here. The mining companies are quite competitive, and I have rivals everywhere who would otherwise try to profit from what I am about to, perhaps, attempt to myself. Please, come in. And she will motion you now into the interior of the mining office, the first floor being almost lounge-like and fairly decadent in its furnishings. There are plenty of places to sit, as well as a map of the surrounding area kind of set out on a coffee table as if some sort of conversation piece. She will skip past this lounge area and its more kind of public setting and take you up a flight of stairs to the second level and to a more, still fairly large office, but it's only got a couple of chairs and it overlooks a lot of the operations of both the yard and the miners coming and going from the warehouses of this company. Bidding those of you who want to take seat, she will say, I am curious, how did you come by this head? The trolls seem to be impervious to almost everything we've thrown at them. Fire, acid. We froze one of them even with a particularly talented sorcerer a few weeks back, and after breaking it into several hundred icicles, it came back days later in the form of dozens of trolls that had all regrown from the broken shards. This head is dead?
It's been like this for 10 days, so I guess so.
Excellent. What is your secret?
First of all, did you employ another guild than us? Than the Guild of Mazes before?
The Cloud Forge Ironworkers Guild is networked with many craft services around all of Eidolon and, to be blunt, also some of the planes beyond. To say that we worked with another guild would, yes. As a matter of fact...
Weight and measure.
Yes, weights and measures. They artisans and craftsmen. They build things.
Yes. As to who we have our business dealings with, at this moment I don't think that you have quite garnered the trust necessary for me to start divulging company secrets. So I'm going to just make note of the fact that you're very interested in them, and perhaps we can move on. Now...
Before we reveal our secret on how we were able to... The guild was able to kill the troll. So to be honest, we're not sure we're not sure who exactly we made this deal with. But if you're willing to help, we'd be happy to talk. What would you be able to offer in exchange for our knowledge and continued help?
Well, we have quite a few resources here at the Forge that I would be more than happy to help provide you with. I imagine you need money as adventurers. It seems that usually gold is the preferred currency of the mercenary. Was there something else that you were looking for? I'm unaware of the terms of this deal that you've struck, which I must say this is kind of a unique bargaining strategy, but I'm willing to entertain it.
I'm looking for some great armor that I can wear.
We are purveyors of the finest ores, but we are not smiths ourselves here. We send it off-site to be worked. However, I'm sure that we can accommodate. We are not without ample resources. Armor can be acquired, but what is your price for this knowledge?
I also believe that as part of the deal, the guild was promised some troops or soldiers or some force to help with the troll problem.
Some brave souls to go and fight with us. We'll take these trolls out.
Depending upon the action that you are taking, I may be able to divert some of my resources, but I will not gladly send my men and women to death with strangers just yet.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
You know of a cleric or druid that lives in the woods, and pray to a weird goddess?
I'm sorry, I do not follow. I am not familiar with the goings-on of the spiritual community around these parts. I find myself too busy trying to run these operations in both Fog Iron Landing and beyond.
Actually, that's better that you don't really know about them because we need their help. And as far as, as I've gathered, they're not really welcome in this community.
This is, again, also a curious thing, but I find that the lot of you are now stalling me. What is your price for this knowledge? How did you slay this troll?
I look at the guy and say, "Do I tell them and we speak prices after that?"
We need bodies, help, even anyone who can pick up a shield just to distract the trolls. Like we can kill them, but even their numbers are out of
And
this world, and we're trying to like liberate you guys from this. So that
and
would
we need
that would be
a
a good thing.
we need a certain object from that person, and we need you to pay for it as many as we can. And the solution is radiant, holy water, radiant damage, smite, power from the goddesses themselves. That's how we kill the trolls.
And teamwork.
That didn't really work last time, but yeah.
I would argue there was not that much teamwork involved with that like, just sort of multi-directional scatter and every person for themselves that went on. But that is, I'm not interested in rehashing that just yet. So you are going to be sort of standing there and watching as this Genasi now sort of sorts through her thoughts, and she almost has this sort of like, of course, look upon her face that she is going to be at once kind of bemused and also a little frustrated at perhaps that they were not able to figure this out on their own. And with that, she will walk over to her desk and, opening a drawer, produce a lockbox. And then after removing a set of keys from her person and opening it, inside, she will produce for you what are 2 platinum ingots. She says each one of these is worth approximately 350 gold pieces. She's going to set one down in front of you. This is for the knowledge regarding that troll's defeat. This other one, I would gladly give to you if you can explain to me in more detail exactly what your plan moving forward is.
Sure. Alright. We know where their camps here is. We know who is their leader. And we know how to kill them. So, our plan, as of now, is to do exactly what they did to you. Raid them in the middle of the night. While they're celebrating something or eating, raid them. Fight them, throw a radiant at them, and slay them with our biggest spells that we can use.
So you would remain in the Rise, here in the Landing, more specifically, to best these trolls.
We're doing we could call it a military campaign with the Guild of Mazes. Trust me when I say that. If each of us dies, the next people at the Guild of Mazes will send will help you. It may take some days to come by.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check now as you attempt to...
Can someone assist me, please?
Yeah, I'll aid.
Yeah, same. Also, like, I would add to that, like, we're 5 people. Like, no matter how powerful we are, we need assistance. And, like, I would suggest that, like, we just, like, rally the town and, like, anyone who can carry a weapon or even a shield.
Grab
assist us.
we can do this, but we'll need people.
You spoke earlier of a
Yes!
troll trapped in the icicles and it being shattered and then creating more trolls. Are those dozens of them? What is that how these things are reproducing? How many of them are there? Could they just raise an army by splitting each other? What's going on with that?
From our reports, it seems that As the trolls are split, they gain a certain amount of mass, but they lose a certain amount of... The best way to put it would be self or intelligence. They lose their cunning, and they begin to break down. As such, the more trolls that a given one splits into, the more diluted they seem to be. You may, in your encounters, have run into the smaller ones. We call them scrags, or the hunting dogs, if you will, of these trolls. They're smaller, they're not being capable of growing to their full size, oftentimes having been carved off of other trolls just to use as if pets or some sort of war dog. The troll in question, you see, that broke down into dozens, we were able to successfully lead away from the village with a distraction, as the creature was creatures were somewhat dim-witted, having the intelligence of one troll split into about 24 different pieces leaves them as about as intelligent as most small birds. Easily enough scattered, we now just fear for not potentially some cunning plan that they are erecting, but as you say, the fact that they could silently now, in the mists of that forest out there, be raising an army of the hundreds. Though, to what end we do not know. They seem to, if they have those numbers, be unwilling to push forward, still content to raid the outskirts of the farmers and occasionally bring war bands into the landing. They've yet to make any sort of final play for trying to seize a hold of this area or kill and eat the lot of us. We do not know if this is a part of a larger plan or if perhaps it merely has not yet occurred yet because that's not what they're trying to do. There's too many questions right now and not enough answers, which is why I am in favor of striking. I would rather at very least reduce their number and discover the plot that they find themselves engaged in, rather than sit here and build our defenses for what may or may not be an onslaught that the Rise itself is unprepared to deal with.
We've heard talk of there being like this humanoid boss that's leading these mistrolls. If we're going to do a strike, we might, if you have any information on this kind of figurehead, if we're going to strike, we should try to take down the boss.
It seems we have more question than we do men-at-arms right now. Perhaps instead of an assault, we should try and scout out and find answers to these questions before we send in scores of villagers armed with, pitchforks to the slaughter.
And with that, she will now set the other platinum bar down on the table and say, "You are not as foolish as you seem." This is exactly my fear as well. The guards and other mining companies speak of rallying together a force with which they might venture into the woods and smash the troll encampment. They say that right now, by the number, they can rally some 70, maybe even more than 100 able-bodied fighters. But most of them are miners, and though stout in body from days of labor in the mines, they are not trained in battle. They would likely be more of a haphazard catastrophe. We could stand to lose the entire defensive force that keeps the trolls at bay should we rush headlong into what may be an ambush. As far as their leader is concerned, though I have heard similar rumors, such as the ones that you've just laid before me, I have nothing that I can confirm or deny about its presence. Those who say that it exists are generally unreliable narrators. Drunkards, wanderers, hermits, people who have otherwise made it out into the terror of those trees and come back with other fantastic stories. Though I have sent a few of my employees back to the Rise to talk to some of the mages and scholars there to see if perhaps this figure might be more important than I am currently aware of. It does do me no good to give these resources over to someone that would just as soon doom them in a headlong assault against an unknowable force. If you are willing, I would supply you with the necessary components to make another reconnaissance. Perhaps stake out these trolls and get a better idea of what it is that they are trying to accomplish here.
I think that is a good place to start, but if any sort of assault is going to truly be waged against these creatures, we'll need at least some form of powerful cleric to bless the weapons of the townsfolk so that they might do any sort of damage, or
I have an
maybe
idea for that.
a truly powerful magic artifact of holy radiance could do it as well. But without a way to put down the troll permanently in the hands of the men we send in there, it is a hopeless endeavor.
I have a thing for that actually. The person I was talking to you about this morning, I'm sure we could use their help again. And with enough payment, I'm sure that they would be, not gladly, but they would accept to give us the resources to kill those trolls.
If you say that you have someone who can supply these things to you,
I don't know if they will, and I know someone who could. I don't know if they will.
give me their name and their location. I will send one of my organizers to go speak with them.
I still have the map with the or house, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't remember their name, and I would like for us to come with your agent. I kind of have a debt to this person.
And then, if you owe them a debt, do you also currently have the means to pay this debt? I do not want to...
We absolutely have. Don't worry. I'm gonna pick the platinum and give it to Karini. That's
Alright.
That's our last resort. I'm gonna say silently in our ear. That's our last resort. If we don't have enough gold, we need to kill those trolls.
Am I taking both of them?
Give one to Balkran or Gale. I think I will die.
Yeah, so I don't want to pile all the wealth on one person.
All right. Just make sure that whoever those platinum bars end up with, we indicate that into chat. Otherwise, they're going to go to no one. And also,
One, right?
at this time, as the party has a chance to kind of plot what they're going to do with this newfound wealth, as well as how they might go about kind of acquiring their resources to raid or do reconnaissance on this Mist Troll camp, which had so soundly defeated some of their guildmates sessions and sessions ago, we find ourselves right at about the 2-hour mark, which for those of you who are familiar with this format means that we will be taking a short, probably about 10-minute break for everyone to grab water, refresh their beverages, use the restroom, all of that. So in the meantime, I just want to do a quick recap for anybody who may or may not have just joined us. This is a Dungeons & Dragons game show with real cash prizes and precious stones that are given out on the daily, and our contestants right now are facing the odds of real death hanging over their heads and constant encounter checks, as well as a world that has been designed for their very destruction. All for the hopes to win both cash prizes, and this entire operation is raising money for rotating community charities. So as all of the hardships our adventurers endure, know that they are doing so in order to bravely stride forward and try and do acts of real, tangible good in the world that they also come from. And with that, everybody, I will see you after the break, but enjoy, and I hope you are still around to see the conclusion, as I imagine our party is about to journey off into the woods and likely face the very same savage destruction they did the first time at the hands of these trolls. So, I will leave you with that, and everybody, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Hello. If you're watching this, it means you're not joining us live at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays or Tuesdays at the Twitch channel below this video, when you could be a part of the action as a contestant or a fan, misleading the contestants, or otherwise helping them out in a pinch and really, saving their bacon, or misleading the contestants and lying to them and deceiving them and sowing chaos, or, trying to actually foster some sense of community and get some sort of interaction between you and the rest of the player base going, and become a friend of people and meet some folks that you haven't met before, and maybe create some long-term relationships that really boost you and help your growth as a person in the long term. Or lie to them! Lies! You could tell them lies! But you'll never be able to if you don't show up. And we are back. Everybody, thank you so much. We have returned from the break, and we will be pressing on until the end of the evening. Our adventurers find themselves in the what seems to be central office of the Cloud Forge Iron Workers Guild, discussing with one of their chief foremans and perhaps one of the company's owners even, a barter that might be struck over the lives of these mist trolls that have been destroying the townsfolk and disrupting the operations down here in Fog Iron Landing. Seemingly a very lucrative setup that the mining operation has going, she has already put down 700 gold pieces into the pockets of these adventurers for the return of one dead troll. Just one. These things seem to have so much savage endurance and also resistances to things that would otherwise be capable of felling much greater beasts. So now the discussion has become one of reconnaissance, as our players fear that the enemy must first be assessed before it can be defeated. And they share the same outlook with the individual or the foreman of this company, who has now agreed to try and provide them with whatever they need to complete this assessment. It seems that there is a cleric or a witch of some kind, as Inel has dubbed her, that dwells within the town that they owe a bit of a debt to, and might also have the resources necessary to both aid them in this fight as well as future ones. You know, because there is still that cash prize on the line for the first team to enter the dungeon alive. Without further interruption, everyone, how would you like to proceed? I mean, clearly we're still mid-conversation, so if there's anything you would like to ask her, now is the time.
In order to complete this task, we're going to need at least one spyglass and preferably some healing potions. We currently don't have a particularly skilled person at stealth, so infiltration will be hard, but observation can be done with such tools.
So, you would need a scout and monetary aid. Half of this I have already supplied to you. Would you be willing to accept one of my own, or would you require that you be responsible for the recruitment of this individual?
If you send somebody skilled with us, we can act as their bodyguards into and out of the encampment. I think that could be done.
We have a few such individuals on retainer. It will take a day to produce them, as they are currently out scouting and doing the very thing that we are hoping to have them perform for you. So you would have to wait, but I do not think that we are in any imminent danger at the moment. The trolls attacked recently, a couple days ago, and were repelled easily. They seemed only to have interest in a particular shipment of ore that had yet to be refined. We are beginning to suspect that there is a greater purpose to these raids, but what with their being sort of infrequent and haphazard and not always targeted at the most valuable things, it seems a quandary.
I think that's all we need. Thanks.
Very well.
What's your name, by the way?
My name is Zetheria.
Thank you for your help. We'll gladly wait for your scout.
Excellent.
Walk out.
Very well. Shall we meet you back here in a day at their return, or will you send for us? We'll likely just get a room at whatever local inn or tavern has room.
If you wouldn't mind meeting us here, I would prefer not sending my agents into the town to come find you. It only escalates the number of prying eyes that may see what's going on. You understand that my commitment to aid you is real, and that I am putting a great deal of faith in you now, as I have already given you quite a boon in the form of this forward payment, and there will be more should you be able to aid us, as I know all of Fog Iron Landing would be grateful should these trolls be dealt with formally. I am willing to reward you specifically to not go selling these trade secrets and similar pieces of information to the other mining companies here in the landing. There are others who we are in direct competition with, and while it does do me no good to see their workers injured and their guards maimed, you have to understand it is, cynically, on some level, good for my business. So I hope that you understand that I have also, with this platinum, purchased your, not silence, but cooperation.
You've purchased our discretion about the scouting mission, but
Excellent.
we'll will not promise to lead your army quite yet. We will do the scouting mission for now. We have a great many things our own guild wishes us to accomplish. I think we've struck a good deal for the scouting, but beyond that we shall see.
Excellent. Now, if there is nothing else that I can do for you at this time, I will send one of my organizers with you to see about dealing with this cleric, and if they might be either purchased or their wares acquired so that we can adequately keep everyone safe in the upcoming day's trials. So, is there anything else that you have for me, or may I get back to what has been a rather busy day?
You can go. Just send your agent with us, and we will go see this cleric as soon as we can. Like right now.
Okay. With that, if the party doesn't have any other further questions or interactions, she will see you out of her office.
I'm good with that.
That went better. When we get out, I say, well, even if we didn't give the head back to the good person, that went better than I thought.
So you said you have the location of this witch.
Yeah, on my map, and I just point. It's not even an encounter, right? If I remember correctly.
No, she is basically just through the forest by a quarter of a mile. So you, having arrived here in this town, don't have to really worry. She's effectively part of the town proper.
So we wait for the agent, and we just go.
All right. You are assigned the very same organizer that met you when you came through the door and sort of facilitated that meeting. And she is going to keep a distance from the party as to sort of keep appearances as what they are, but she is ready to depart and see this cleric about her wares as soon as you are.
We're ready.
Keep on your guard. See, she's quite powerful, and don't try to haggle with her. We tried last time, and it went not poorly, but not good. So just don't.
All right. It will take you about a half an hour, 45 minutes to walk through town, and then also find the path to this cleric's house. Strolling through the woods, once again, you are reminded of the very isolated and also kind of sheer terror that you experience rising in your gut as you see the mists close behind you like a gate shutting, and you are once again at the mercy of sort of almost like the living essence of this rise and its dangerous environment. Of course, the trail being short, you are at the sort of stone and earthen house of this cleric rather quickly, and you are going to find that she this time is not inside, but instead outside in front of her home, tending to what is sort of an unrestrained garden of sorts. Growing wildly amidst her feet are all kinds of both what seem to be edible plants intermixed with weeds, intermixed with flowers of some kind. But you also note that there seem to be a vast number of dead or dying plant growths intermingled into this garden, as if she is tending equally to the life and the death of these creatures. Now, she will, on your approach, recognize both Karini and Inel, and silently sort of set down the tools in her hand and begin to walk towards the party as they approach, as she, with a sweeping of her arms, invokes this wind and sort of rustle amongst the plants and trees. I see you have returned, yet Far after I imagined. I thought you surely had perished, or decided it wiser to try and never return. I trust you now have for me what was promised.
More than what we give. That was your exact word, remember?
Exactly that.
Can I remember how much we gave her?
I also, sorry, I wasn't there.
Were you not?
No.
Oh right, you had warped out. You had left the session prior. Absolutely. So Inel is the only one of the current band who is there. At this point, she will. Inel, go ahead and give me an intelligence check to see if you can recall exactly what the exchange was.
Come on, my +4. Come on. $23.
All right, Inel, with that, you will recall in your mind that it seems you had given her some 25 gold, and she would be expecting 25 in return.
I go to Karini. I need in her ear. I need 7 gold. Can you give it to her?
Yep, 7 gold.
And I give it my 18 that I have.
She will remark that this does not seem satisfactory for the favor given.
All right. Why do you want more?
I'll get you 10 gold also.
All right, that will up it to 30. Okay, so yes, when I gave you this favor of mine, and I asked for the return of more than was given, I did not necessarily mean in gold pieces. I see now that while this will do for the monetary compensation, you have done what now with the powers that I gave you? This holy water and these healing drafts.
We killed actual severely injured 2 others, and we are trying to wipe them out now. We will require your aid again, and I think that we have something monetary and food that could be enough for this trade. And I'm gonna get out my pack and give her 40 rations that I got from the ogres, or don't remember. And I turn myself to the other and say, we give her one of the bar.
How does the party feel about this?
I think she wants a favor rather than monetary compensation, but
I think
the deed can't be accomplished without her aid.
Let's find out what she wants.
Alright, what do you want for more help?
How can we help you today?
I would gladly take your payment. However, there are other things that press me more now in the past days since I have last seen you and your guild, she says almost contemptuously. The cycle of life and death has begun to fray here in the lower forests, and I am afraid that things begin to disrupt the most basic fabric. Thothami guides and creates and also destroys, and as these forces become scrambled, so too does her ability to steward us naturally through this world. You would do for me the favor of journeying deeper yet still into these woods, past this encampment of trolls. There is a ruin at the base of one of these cliff faces that I would have investigated. There seem to be disturbing reports emerging from the wildlife that I have spoken to. They say terrible things, dark creatures, shadowy in their complexion, in the way that they almost eat the light around them. I fear that they soon too may align with the trolls. Should their leader prove to actually be of the Malfey and of the Shadow Realm, we may be looking at an alliance that would be untenable for life here on the Rise.
I'm gonna pick up my map and say, alright, can you point me where it is?
She will mark it on your map.
Yeah, new quest. As I say in my head. So, payment after we deal with that, or?
This is what I ask of you for the favor that I gave. Now, if you would like to purchase my wares, I see that you are far better equipped.
Yeah.
What would you like?
Well, for this, we consider a freebie. We bring to you an introduction that may help you acquire whatever it is you seek. Our time in this area will be short, but this is another power in the region that may further your business with dispersing the problems here. And I'll bring up the aid that was sent with us.
Okay. She will sort of nod to the introduction and begin to introduce herself before she's very rudely cut off with a, I know who you represent. And I have no need of their aid. Thothemi keeps a solemn practice, and I am happy here out in my secluded abode. There is nothing that the Cloud Forge can do for me. I will gladly accept your money, though, as I do have causes dear to my heart that are in always perpetual need of more funding. Have you need of more holy water? More potions that would heal your flesh and blood?
A great deal of it.
We do. We are very limited on our sources of radiant energy, and any help you can provide will only serve to help you.
You need radiance.
Radiant potion and healing potion would do greatly. And we have a payment. And I look to Gel and just said with my eyes, give it to her, give it to her.
So I take it out and I hold it out in my hand like this.
Oh, and I say, how much is it worth for you? It's way more than what we gave you the first time. I think it's worth at least 10 times more, maybe more. And for what you gave us last time, I mean, can I have a bulk deal right now?
Wait here.
More waiting. Alright,
She
you can
will,
go.
at this point, depart into her home and return some time later with a woven basket covered in a small cloth. Pulling back the top of it, she reveals that the interior has been lined with, though the glass is sort of like this muddy and impure, like green color, you can see in the interior there are some vibrant and swirling liquids. For this continued exchange, as well as the money that you have so gladly offered, this is what I can do for you. I have in this basket 6 potions of healing, 4 samples of holy water, and this she will hold up now at last a vial. This, when spilled upon an object, will make it as bright as a sun. And it will also emit radiant energy.
For how long?
1 minute.
I'll write that.
Do
So
not be near it when it reaches full capacity, as it does have the capability to both blind and burn those even of our less sensitive composure. The trolls themselves will find it an anathema to their being.
I exchanged them for the platinum piece that I have.
All right, the basket is yours.
I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna say. Didn't you give us 6 potion last time for 25 gold?
No,
This is.
I did not give you 6 potions for 25 gold. Last time,
it
I
was
gave you
a
6
deal,
potions, and you were short 25 gold.
Thank you for your help. This will be very useful.
I'm gonna like say thank you for being so generous. I wasn't sure because like it's the 25 gold plus the deal. I remember. Thank you. And I just wipe my sweat off my brow and say, I almost fucked up. I fucked up this time.
You are going to sort of just watch as she hands over the basket and begins to sort of back away, remaining in constant eye contact with the lot of you. I'm sure you will see your way from my company now.
Could I just ask her real quick? I know you want nothing to do with the miners in town, but they could also greatly use your abilities here and these supplies. Would you be willing to sell those to them as well, as long as they stay out of your hair and don't bother you too much?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
I'm gonna assist with that.
Go ahead and roll to assist.
Sorry, so if he assists, do we just count his, or do I have an advantage if he passes?
You have advantage if he passes, is how that works.
18
18. So go ahead.
with advantage.
Karini, go ahead. There we go. 21 total. Excellent. With that, and based on her role, this cleric of Thothemi, the goddess who stewards all life towards death, will nod. She will say, yes. I take this as a sign that things are moving in the direction they should. Were you not experiencing both the tragedy of your own failure as well as the sweetness of your own success, you would not be moving along Thothemi's path. But I sense a great sadness dwells within the heart of a few of you, as well as great potential. You have done at least enough to restore my faith in the townsfolk for now. They are the ones who fear me, and rightfully so. But this relationship has soured past the point of practicality, and perhaps I would do well to try and rekindle some amount of trust with them. I am running low at this point in my supplies. These healing potions are arduous to create. This holy water, however, which I think is the truer weapon that you speak of, I can generate with much more ease.
We're glad to help you potentially mend that relationship, and we'll continue to try to foster goodwill between the two of you. And thank you for your help. And I'll turn around and head out.
All right.
Let's go get some sleep. I'm tired.
So, with that, if you're going to return to the landing, that, I mean, releases you again to your own recognizance as far as tasks that you might try to accomplish. You find yourself early on enough in the day that all of the shops, that what few that they have, are still open, as well as the town is in full thrum. So what would you like to do?
I think I'm good. I think I have all the supplies and stuff I need. Does anybody else want to maybe try to exchange the other bar for something?
Yeah, like a breastplate or some mithril half plate.
The thing is, I think right now a bar of platinum is not worth much in a mining place. Maybe more if we go to a blacksmith like the one that Berben
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, we can. Let's hold on to it.
It might be exchangeable for a breastplate, but scale mail will probably do you just as good if you want to try and find a piece of that. I don't know what shops there are around here, but we can certainly look around.
There was, in fact, in L you are familiar with, there's a general store and a smith, both of which you were able to recall rather easily from your previous experiences here in Fog Iron Landing.
Yeah. Remember, I saved friends. I saved a companion from trouble with some miner close to blacksmith. Each time I come here, it costs me some gold. It's really weird. As I remember my experience with my my first day in Oaks Rise, and I became a bird that day. And now all of the people that I knew from that day are either dead or I haven't got any clue where they are. So I feel a bit sad coming back here, but it's almost better if I know that they died before I really knew them. So I'm just gonna say I'm going to go to the inn. Someone's coming with me.
Sounds good to me. Wait, well, are you just gonna go to sleep? What are you doing?
I just need to look into something at the inn.
Very well.
Honestly, I prefer if I'm not alone because none of you were there, but I wasn't born this way. Something in that inn turned me like this.
All right, are you going to return to the inn then, Inel? As it seems like your companions have some shopping to do.
I'm only going to go there. Yeah, I'm going to go there.
I will go with an L.
Okay.
I'll secure a room for the night. I don't have anything else to do.
Got it. As you enter the inn, you are going to immediately notice, all of you, that many of the individuals here share similar characteristics with your companion Inel, as they seem to have the remnants of some sort of magical splicing gone awry. And while Inel bears the beak of a large bird and the claw of some sort of raptor, it seems that many of the miners and townsfolk who are drinking in this particular establishment are with the characteristics of snakes, crickets, donkeys, mice, birds, everything you can imagine. Like just everything from the disfigurement of single eyes and ears and tails to full tilt. It looks like some of them are still in complete animal form as you look around the room and you find a pig pig in a small tunic that is at a table, its hooves clutching some sort of cards in one of its four hooves, and the other one seemingly raking towards it some pile of gold and oinking rather happily to itself, while another gathering of these sort of unfortunate victims of the polymorph gone awry are bemoaning this pig's victory. It's a rather strange scene to behold, and Inel, as you walk in for the first time, you don't feel stared at, as no one seems to notice the fact that you have, a giant bird face.
Well, feel like home. Bartender, could we get a room, please, for 5 people?
Certainly. That will be, I think, based on what we have available, I can accommodate 2 rooms with 2 beds, and each one will run you a total of 3 silver.
Look at Bogrun, or can you pay? I paid all my money to the witch.
I'll pay it. Although, it's 3 silver each.
It will be 3 silver each, yes.
Okay, I'll put down the 6 silver.
Okay.
Thank you, Asteric.
That will be available for you this evening. At the moment, though, I think that we are still cleaning the room, as last night there was a bit of an incident. It seems that something happened in the middle of the night, and we're not quite sure what. But rest assured, the room is perfectly safe, and everything is going to be in proper order here within at least 15-20 minutes.
Thank you. Did anything else happen with the polymorph problem?
As you say that, the barkeep is going to raise an eyebrow and say, "Oh, I thought that perhaps you were just like this. I forgive. I apologize. Forgive me. It seems that whatever it was those 2 did to this village has been wearing off over time, but we have heard reports of strange things going on out in the forests. People have run into all kinds of spliced half-creatures. There's owl bears, strange things like that emerging. We've been dealing with it, but whatever it was that decided to prey upon the townsfolk is still at large. People reported 2 magical, almost faceless gremlins in hoods with many eyes. It's a strange tale. I think perhaps there was a delirium or something bad got into the bread and the drink. But nonetheless, there hasn't been any further occurrence. No.
Thank you for all this.
Yes, of course. So, what is the rest of the party doing at this time?
So as we're waiting for the room to be ready, I'm gonna walk over to the lake, take one of my pythons and hook it up with my rope, rip off a little piece of ration, and I'm just gonna sit on the lakeside and go fishing for a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check as you attempt to get lucky with, what little fishing equipment you have. Okay, throwing that out into the lake, you are going to sit idly by. How long do you want to spend fishing?
Like until the room's ready. I'll give it 2 hours.
All right. So, over the course of that time, you are going to watch as the ration at the end of this line starts to bob and then disappear, and the line goes tight, and you believe that you have likely hooked something.
Alright, I'll start reeling.
Okay, go ahead and give me a strength check as you attempt to, or athletics if you will, as you attempt to start reeling this thing in, as it immediately becomes apparent that whatever it is on the other end of this line Okay, that is actually not going to be enough, and you are going to face the fact that this line is either going to be jerked from your hands, or you're going to have to let go of it.
So, what was the choice?
You're either, you're either going to have to, like, let go of this thing, or risk, if you fail again, it will likely be pulled from your hands and, cause damage.
Alright, I'll let it go.
All right. And
I'll go back to dealing.
then with that, unsure of what massive fish may or may not be lurking in that lake, you are going to rejoin Inel at the inn, and of course, obviously see all of the kind of like ambient after effects of that polymorph that had gone awry so many nights before. But other than you, Esteric, the rest of the party, what are you up to? Gale, Karini, Bakran, what are you doing at this time?
I was with NL.
Okay, cool. I mean, if that's what I'm just trying to make sure that no one's got any, tasks left over before you bed down for the evening and face your encounter roll.
Just gonna kind of hang out at the inn, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm just chilling in the bar, having a drink, sitting in the corner with my back to the wall, observing what's happening.
All right. Then that means if everyone is settling down for the eve and awaiting basically the return of the Cloudforge scout so that you might make use of them in your reconnaissance of the Mistral encampment, without further ado, unless there's anything else that some people would like to accomplish, I am going to be asking for your encounter roll for the evening. All right. Esteric, not wanting to waste any time, I am going to go ahead and counter roll and see where this lands us. Okay, interesting. Dun, dun, dun. That puts me onto this subchart, and then I roll once more.
We haven't actually long rested, right?
No, you have not long rested yet. But you did leave. You long rested before you left the Mumbling Mage, because you basically rested in the middle of that day. So at this point, the party should be topped off, because you haven't done anything except expend those mage armors earlier when you were traveling.
With hit die replenishment, you only get half back per long rest, like half your level, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was more what I was getting at. So I'm still missing one of those, but I mean, it shouldn't affect us that much.
Okay.
How long has it been since we cast Mage Armor?
Since you cast Mage Armor, at this point, like when you start bedding down for the evening, it will have been about 4 hours, 5 hours.
It's still up.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is still active at this point. Now, sorry, I'm just reading this description here. It looks like the group is going to be able to bed down and rest will come easy. I am curious who is in whose room, as there are 4 beds between the 2 rooms and there are 5 people. So I'm just trying to get an idea of who's staying with who for the sake of what may or may not be happening this evening.
I think the 3 half-orcs can stay together.
Yeah, do you want to just swap the bed out for the watches or whatever? Like one of us.
You want to leave the 2 wizard and the sorcerer together? I see.
Yeah, they're next to each other. One of
They
us is
seem
gonna
fine
be-
with that.
All right.
That's
I'll go with the sorcerer. So.
All right. So that will then, sometime into the evening, yield a rather horrific cry coming from somewhere out in the town. It sounds like from where you currently are to the northwest by general direction, not too far, maybe 100 feet, maybe 80. It seems blood curdling and also like in a state of sheer panic.
There are windows facing that direction in our room.
There are, based on, hold on, I'm switching over to well, I'm on the other map right now, kind of setting some things up. But yes, there are.
I peer out the window and just kind of see what I can tell what's happening.
Okay.
Can I do a knowledge nature, trying to figure out what that is?
Go ahead and do a knowledge nature, and then as you peer out to the north there, Karini, go ahead and give me a perception check to see if what you can see.
By reflex, I'm going to get my component pouch and just look around to see if there's something.
Okay.
I'm gonna go downstairs and out the front door, and kind of to the noise, but just not all the way, just kind of out in that direction. See if I can peer into the darkness, and see where the noise is coming from.
Got it.
I'll start donning the extra set of leather armor we have.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I assumed I'm putting my armor on. So I'll have
Heavy armor takes 10 minutes.
All right. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put that on.
All right.
Esteric, do you wanna come with me and go to the others? Esteric, you okay?
Oh, I thought I was with Karini.
Karini,
either way.
Yeah, you're with Karini and Inel at the moment.
I want to see if I can figure out what this thing is first, but then, yeah.
All right, with that knowledge nature of 19, you are not really going to be able to tell what this thing is, but you are sure that the scream that you heard was likely human in nature.
All right, it sounds like a human, surprisingly enough. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's go check it out.
All right, let's go.
Do I see anything from outside?
All right, once you get outside, go ahead and give me a perception check as you look north now to see what you can find. That 13 perception, you are going to see towards the base of the watchtower north of the inn. It looks like there are villagers in trouble as there are townsfolk, lanterns in hand, in the middle of a melee with what you can't really make out due to the thickness of the mist and the darkness of the night, but what you can only see are these sort of lumbering, larger by about time and a half than a single person, creatures that are vaguely humanoid that seem to be trying to maul them or tear them apart with their teeth. You feel fairly confident that they are not trolls, whatever these things are, but it is still too far for you to get an accurate read.
If I'm up with Gale at this point, would I also be able to see that?
You would also be able to at this point, yes.
How far away?
They are, it's hard to tell, but you're looking at a distance of about 100 feet away, 120 feet away from the backside of the inn.
Okay, so 100 feet away, out behind the inn, there's these two big monsters that are attacking the villagers?
At least, yes.
Between the two.
Is Bug Run with us?
At this point...
It's gonna take me a minute to put on the leather armor, and then I'll join from the time you guys sounded the alarm.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere until I get my armor on. I'm not good to anybody dead.
We're waiting for you, then.
All right. As you hurriedly attempt to get into your armor, the screaming is only going to escalate, Karini, as you can hear more and more of the villagers outside begin to fall prey to whatever creatures it is that have come here now in the middle of the night to try and gobble them up.
I'll turn to the party. These villagers are in danger. We have to go help them.
I'm gonna holler up, hurry up, you guys, and then I'm gonna throw an Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay, you will have to get within, I believe, 120 feet, which is totally doable, just to clarify for range, and I am also
I
going...
think
How
Range of blast.
am I? Do I have my armor on at this point?
At this point, you'll be about halfway there, Karini. You're kind of now faced with this choice of, you can either basically go out half armored and take a what I'd say is about a -2 penalty to your AC, or you can attempt to continue to dress yourself in a hurry. It really just comes down to the lives of these villagers. So
I'm not going out without armor on.
I have a 300-foot range. Am I within 300 feet?
yes, you are within 300 feet. 1 second. I'm just getting the battle map positioned. And I'm going to get some tokens down right now for everybody.
As soon as I see Gale fire a blast, I'll throw out a firebolt.
All right,
And
cool.
do I have advantage from this far away without them seeing me?
Yes.
I'm just gonna say, alright, here we go again. Yes, guys, if you need help, I'll be up above. And I just cast rope trick and climb in it.
All right. Bakran, you are also in heavy armor at this point?
No, I put on the leather armor so
Oh.
I could get out here faster.
So you would actually be able to then join Gale and the rest of them.
Yeah.
So, and then
Does Bugrant come out before I climb up?
Bakran, yeah, will be able to get out there, like basically as you're climbing up your rope trick.
Then I'm gonna slide down and say good luck out there and pat him on the back and cast enlarge.
Okay, hold on. That is going to the party only has so much action economy, and your casting of rope trick is effectively going to be your action during the jump round. While initiative is going to go off now that the Eldritch Blast has happened. Unfortunately, that 12 is not going to be enough to strike the creatures in question. As we look north now to see, and I'm going to zoom the stream in to see that they are some sort of hulking, almost like abomination, likely undead, clearly by the way that they appear to be both gaunt and also just hungering for the flesh of these townsfolk, and that 18 firebolt is going to be enough on behalf of Esteric. Go ahead and roll damage for that. I'm gonna get all of this going. Everybody go ahead and give me your initiative rolls now, as we are going to, start combat.
Are our models out on the map
You
somewhere?
are right here. Let me take that measurement. Oh, you're a little far away. Hold on, let me scoot you up. You should be a little closer than that. Boom. Because Gale's within distance. Yep, there we go. Okay, so moving up. You find yourselves here. I'll ping again for everybody.
I'm sorry, you said I was only halfway done?
Yeah, you're only basically halfway done, so you could take a -2 penalty to your AC based on what your full AC would be.
It'll take me another 5 whole minutes.
And yeah.
Alright, I guess I'm done putting it on. I got what I
Okay,
got.
so Karini
Can I
is
go
also
outside?
going to come out the door then. Due to your hesitation, I am going to take your jump round away from you, but I will give you... you can just get into the initiative. Go ahead and roll.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I just wanted to clarify before I rolled initiative, and when you think I was waiting on my roll for that.
Got it. And let me get the turn tracker out now and make sure... Bakran.
I forgot to use my token for my initiative.
Yeah, yep. No worries. Esteric and Bakran got it, and so did Karini. So there's only 2 of you, actually, real quick, that I'll just add. I'll need to add Gale, and then need to add Inel. So Gale came away with a 13, which ends up accidentally being the best initiative of the party. And Inel, you came away with an also another 13. So you and Gale are actually, sorry, you're both tied. So of the 2 of you, because you also have the same dexterity, either one of you can go first, or I'll need you to roll again just to do a tiebreaker between the 2 of you.
Can I go?
You got it. Go ahead and go first.
All right, got
right.
it. So I will put Inel at the top of that. Hold on, though, as our abominations also need to get onto this initiative order, and they might be doing pretty good. Who knows?
Please no.
Yeah, please, no. Pum, pum, pum. It looks like they will... Sorry, I had to transition them layers before I could add their turns. Be coming in at a respective, one of them at a 16, the other at a 7, and then the final one, it looks like, according to these dice, is going to come in at a robust 19. That means that two of them will be going before the party, having had both the Eldritch Blast summoned and sent their way by Gale the Warlock, and first catching their attention, when immediately followed up by a successful firebolt on behalf of Esteric, colliding with one of these creatures. They are going to stop and turn, as you now have their full attention. Stopping their just ravenous feeding on these townsfolk, as they were moments ago just happy and content to be pulling them limb from limb and gorging themselves on their flesh. These creatures are going to begin sprinting across the battlefield towards the party and display an inhuman amount of agility, as their long legs and bounding strides seem to take them further in just a couple seconds than you think that you could, accomplish in even your fastest dead out run. One moment, sorry, I'm figuring out distance. Okay, yeah, cool. Guy needs to go back a little bit.
How big are they?
They are large-sized, but their forearms are long enough that they almost seem to have, reach, even quite obviously at a distance, as at the end of these overly long, gangly, inhumanly extended limbs are these, talon-like fingernails that go down into the bone themselves. As you can see, the flesh on their hands has been worn away by both rot and time. These creatures are not going to have enough economy to reach you and attack in the same turn, but they are going to clearly be bounding towards the party. I'm going to put a little bit of a battle music on in the background, but that will put us up now to Inel at the top of the order. Inel, you had just summoned a rope trick, I believe.
Yeah, 20 feet into the air.
Okay, got it. And now what would you like to do?
Climb, I'm just gonna tap Bakran and cast Enlarge on him.
Okay, you got it. Go ahead.
I don't roll anything.
And so then that gives you your action and your bonus action and your movement left. What would you like to do with your turn?
Well, my movement is going to go into the rope trick.
Okay.
And since I don't have any bonus action spell, I'm just gonna hide in there for now.
All right, you got it. So that is going to then put us over to Gale Warcrier. Gale, having launched an eldritch blast at these creatures a moment ago and watched as it sort of soared over their heads due to the distance and the timing of it. As they bound closer now to you still, you can't help but feel a rising sense of panic as their distended jaws and blood-covered faces seem to be almost inhuman in the way that they hunger. Go ahead. What would you like to do for your turn?
Oh, wow. So I am going to throw another Eldritch Blast, and then I'm going to back up 30 as far as I can towards these little, whatever those are next to the inn.
Those are piles of wood, actually, set out back behind the inn for burning in both the kitchen stoves as well as the common room fireplace. Okay. And then,
right about there. And now I will send the...
Go ahead and roll for that Eldritch Blast. 13. Unfortunately, that is also not enough. This time, as you let it off, you see as the creature ducks low, almost flat now against the ground, its speed and agility enough that it is able to then spring back up in a single bound, almost like a buck ducking under the arrow of a hunter. Now, that is going to just be your movement and your action. You have your bonus left to you. Is there anything you'd like to do with that?
No, I'm just going to grimace at him.
Got it. Grimacing. Heard. That means from there, after Gale goes, we now go to Esteric again. Esteric, what would you like to do?
I'm going to... Let's get far away. I'm gonna move... There.
All right, Esteric's moving a little bit further away from the beast in question.
I'm going to... I'll do a chill touch. You said they are undead?
Yeah, clearly. I mean, you're not a scientist or anything, but judging by the fact that they look to be large, deformed corpses, that 14 on the chill touch is unfortunately going to not be enough to hit.
That's all I got.
All right. Then from there, Esteric, we go now to the last in the turn order of these ghoulish creatures. And this one is going to also now leave alone the easy pickings and begin bounding towards the source of these magical volleys that have attacked both it and its fellow, undead horrors, I guess. Now, that's gonna see it bounding up to the front line with the rest of its companions, but like them, it lacks the economy. And now we go to Bakran. Bakran, what would you like to do?
Can you make my icon bigger to reflect the enlarge?
Oh, absolutely. Can you not? I'm not. That's not me putting it on you. I was just curious. Are you not capable of?
I would. I have no idea.
You should be
give me
able
a
to. I
sec.
think if you have control over the token. But I don't know. Actually, I just realized I've never had to enlarge my own token as a player before. But there you go. Either way, having dialed you up so that you're a little bit more visible.
By the way, background,
Nice.
by the rule of shooting conquest, the damage bonus from enlarge is 1d6.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Over 1d4. Enlarge used to actually be a much, much more powerful spell, and so I just felt that it was not getting its full representation without at least a little bit more damage. It used to be in the way that
Alright.
size categories worked for weapons. You could be getting anywhere from an extra, a D4 to, sometimes a D10 in certain cases, with, if you were wielding a two-handed weapon and then you got enlarged. So,
All right. I will move forward my 30 feet, and as I run forward, I'll grab one of my enlarged javelins and hurl it at the of the one on the far left.
All right, go ahead and make that attack roll.
I added the new weapon. How do? Oh, there. Wait, no. I'm
You
just
should
gonna roll
just
it.
be able to click on the javelin text in your character sheet.
Yeah, I didn't have them there to start with, but it looks like
I
it'll
see.
go wide regardless. I think 9.
9, yeah, it's not gonna be enough.
All right, I'll then pull my sword and shield and brace for impact.
Bracing for impact. Bakran, we then pass it over to Karini, the paladin. Karini, you see these horrors loping towards your companion, who is now stalwart in his decision to face them in melee. What would you like to do?
Gonna move up next to my buddy. And take out the trusty holy symbol and abjure enemy on the right one.
All right, on the far right one. It's a wisdom save of 13, I believe.
Wisdom save has disadvantage because it's an undead, and my DC is 14.
14, got it. All right. If it were not for that disadvantage, the abjure would likely not have taken effect, but you will be able to successfully freeze it in place as the creature loses all of its movement and becomes effectively frightened. That is... I'll go ahead and throw a skull on it. I like that. So this creature is going to be, for the moment, paralyzed. That will be your action for the turn and your movement. Is there anything you'd like to do with your bonus, or are you good for now?
Shield of Faith.
Shield of Faith. Okay, got it.
On me.
Then with that, I'll drop a shield on you so I remember that.
AC will be 19.
That will definitely be the end of your turn, as your economy is spent. And we go now to the top of the order with these ghoulish creatures that are going to be attacking the party. Now, having seen that you display the ability to summon the will of the goddesses, they are going to be immediately upon you, Karini, as they see you as not only a threat, but this horrific stain. In their eyes, your light is an affront to all that they hold to be true, and they must snuff it out in the same way that we hunger to fill our bellies and breathe oxygen deep in our lungs. This creature is going to bound forward, and the first attack is just going to bounce off of Karini's armor, her shield of faith, effectively repelling the hands of this creature that it is using like a taloned spear. The second attack, however, is an almost critical, and that is definitely going to get through Karini's AC. Karini, this creature is going to... Okay. Ooh, that means you are going to also lose your concentration there. And this creature's claws are like that of essentially like a great spear. And Karini, you're going to take 8 damage from the claw itself, and then I'm going to need another Constitution saving throw because of what seems to be this sort of like rot and disease that is dwelling like in the fingertips of these creatures. That is also not going to be enough. And
I have
Karini...
divine health.
Sorry, what?
I have divine health.
Oh.
Makes me disease.
In which case, you are going to, fortunately, not have to worry about the long-term ramifications of this, but you are still going to take... It's going to be... You're not immune to poison yet, correct?
Sorry, no, I just assumed it was a disease.
No. There is disease here, But there are sort of two. There's two things folded into this. So you are going to be immune to the disease aspect of it, certainly, but you are still going to take an additional 3 damage from failing that save. And that is the creature's 2 attacks. The other creature is now going to step forward and doing the same thing, not wanting to give Karini any chance at all to start letting loose any of this divine fury upon these wretched undead creatures. It is also going to begin to attack you. Oh man, and they're swinging out of the gate. First attack is that's almost a 25 after you add its attack modifier. Karini, that's gonna be... Sorry, that's 9 damage, and then at this point you've made the Constitution save. You've failed the Constitution saving throw, so I'm gonna have you make another one. You're still immune to the disease aspect, but you are gonna take an additional 1 damage from failing that save.
10 total.
Sorry, what?
It's 10 total.
10 total, yes. And then from there, that is the 2 ghouls' turn. But I will say, Karini, as they draw nearer to you and you find them, now having attacked, it's almost as if their jaws are beginning to actively distend as they focus their attacks upon you, and you worry as you see them grow, as if ready to attempt to try and take some sort of formidable bite out of you or your companions, but that will have to wait as we now go over to Inel. Inel, nearby, having just climbed up into his rope trick as per usual. What would you like to do?
I poke my head out, and for once, I'm gonna cast Chromatic Orb on the one on the left.
One on the far left. Okay, Chromatic Orb. You got it. 15. Nicely done. All right.
So it's 3d8, and I choose fire damage because I cannot do all the.
Got it. That will, of course, do a considerable amount of damage, I imagine. So 12. Okay, that's not so bad. That will cause the orb to streak towards this creature, tumbling end over end as each surface kind of begins to flare with these differing colors and letting go of a veritable rainbow of light before finally striking the creature, flashing red and engulfing it in a gout of flame temporarily. You can see it actively burns the creature's flesh and causes it to essentially become now engulfed in flame, but it doesn't cry out in pain, which is almost like the most unnerving aspect of it, as it seems to be completely indifferent to the destruction of its own body.
Okay, it does damage, but it just doesn't care about the damage, is what you're saying.
Yes. Now, that's your attack. Was there anything you'd like to do with your bonus, your movement?
I would like to try to analyze them and try to with my Arcana or Religion, maybe, if I could know what these things are.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
Arcana or would Religion be better in that case?
That's up to you.
I'm going to do Religion because they seem more undead than anything.
Okay, go ahead and give me that roll. All right, with a 15 on your Religion, Inel, you will know that these are clearly ghouls. And the thing that You are going to also know, judging by the what you have learned and your experience in the Guild of Mages, is that these creatures are riddled with diseases of the grave. Oftentimes, each one can carry multiple diseases to the extent that it turns into an almost form of concentrated poison, so that their attacks are not only something that might have long-lasting, devastating effects to a community, but are also so infectious that they do immediate necrotic and poisonous damage to those that they attack. As well, with that 15, you are aware that ghouls are typically formed in the absence of dead being given their proper burial rites, and having then been affected by some form of either shadow magic or undeath or necromancy. So likely these ghouls that you are fighting are probably either a former townsfolk or people who were, lost in the woods, but now their souls have been far too twisted and almost nothing of their original self remains, reduced to essentially just a ravenous hunger to consume life in a way that a maelstrom tries to pull at anything towards its boundaries to draw it into itself. So yeah, that's basically it. That's what you got.
So they're mostly the thing that the cleric of Totemi told us about?
Perhaps this could be an effect of, or part of the consequences that she was speaking of when she said that the natural progression of life into death was starting to unravel here in the lower valley. But obviously without her being present to sort of point and nod, you can only guess.
Well, I poke in, and I just go back in my rope trick and wait for my next attack.
All right, Gale, you are up. What would you like to do?
All right, so I am going to take cover back over here.
All right.
Right there.
You got it.
And then I'm going to fire another Eldritch Blast at this one, the one on the far left.
One on the far left. You got it. And we'll also put a damage dot on that one, as that one has now been struck. Okay, and that 23 will definitely be enough. Go ahead and roll that Eldritch Blast damage. The blast is unable to make direct contact, as your towering half-orc companion, who's been magically enlarged, is kind of obscuring them a little bit, and so trying not to hit them in the back of the head, you end up only just kind of winging the ghoul on the other side.
That's so awesome.
But hey, you're very conscientious of your friends. But that
Now
is...
I'm going to just kind of hide, so if I can be stealthy behind that.
All right. Got it. Unfortunately, hiding is a full action unless you're a rogue, so you will be able to take cover, certainly, but you won't be able to use a stealth check. That is going to... Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Then from there we go to Esteric. Esteric, what would you like to do?
Quick question. So, if the way that the monsters are standing, if something was right in this space, would that affect both of them?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's go for it.
I have a feeling I know what that means.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take a step forward. I'm gonna do a quickened flaming sphere.
Okay. Ooh, okay, I like it. I like it. Quickened Flaming Sphere. I got that token coming right now. One moment. And that'll be under your control in just a second.
And then, so that makes that a bonus action. and then I'm going to cast Acid Splash, which will affect both of them.
Okay, you got it. So I'm gonna roll really quick for the flaming sphere. They are going to basically go half and half on that. The one close to you is gonna make the save. The one far from you is gonna fail the save. And then I'm gonna do the same roll for our... Okay, it happens the exact same way. The one close makes it, the one far fails it for the acid splash as well. So you will see as both of those things in a rapid succession of arcane potency manifest at the behest of this sorcerer's will. The fire sparking up in the ground between the two beasts and causing them to recoil, but they are agile enough that they don't seem to take too much damage from it. And the same thing goes for the acid splash, as it does eat away at their flesh, but they do not seem to, again, care, as they're more focused on just trying to devour what's in front of them, as if a drowning man trying to make it back to dry land with the same fervor you see. Esteric, that's your action, your bonus, and I saw you slide over, so is that your turn?
Yeah, that's everything.
All right, Esteric, bringing the hurt. That's going to bring it now to this creature. Oh, I had moved the wrong... Oh, no, he's frozen. Never mind. So that guy is out of the combat still. So we now go to Bakran. Bakran, you are up.
Am I in the threat range of both of these things right now, or is the one on the
You are actually in the
left?
threat range of both of these things right now.
Okay. Since I'm large right now, can I step over Karini since I'm bigger than her?
You in fact can.
Okay. I will step over. Is the flaming sphere next to, or do I have to be in its square? Would I? Am I gonna trigger that?
So the flaming sphere is, you have to end your turn next to it for it to take effect. So you could effectively move next to it and then move away from it without taking damage.
Okay.
Horseback?
I'll
Yeah, what's
just
up?
step over Karini into this square as best I can, and I'll start attacking the one on the left with my longsword.
The red dot is for the one with the most damage,
Yeah.
because
This-
we were attacking the other one.
No, you got that dot is because of the character model. It's just floating on top of the other one.
Oh, I see. So it's on the left one.
Yeah, it's on the left one.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So Bakran, go ahead.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and move Karini's token so that it's in front of yours, just so it's a little easier to... There we go. That way everyone can access it. Bakran, that 8 is not gonna be enough, unfortunately, as you swing on this creature and find that it is able to rebuff your attack with a slap of its giant claws that are basically like 4, 5, 6 daggers, even kind of batting back your attack. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Nope. I think that'll be it for me.
Okay, you got it. Then from there, we go now to last of the order, Karini. You are up.
Okay, taking, like, drinking potions on your person, that's just a bonus action, right?
No, drinking and unless you have like fast hands, which rogues do, it will be a full action for you to drink a potion.
Okay, lay on hands for 19.
All right. Lay on hands for 19. Not bad. I imagine that's going towards you, yes?
Yeah.
All right.
Has Bakrin taken damage?
Bakrin has not, no.
Nope.
I just like to confirm.
Okay. Sorry.
So, yeah, you're fine. So that's your lay on hands. Then what else would you like to do for your turn?
I feel like if I don't get my AC up, I'm just going to keep getting hammered. So I guess I'm just going to use Shield of Faith again.
Okay, you got it. Alright. So if that's your turn, then that means we will be going now back to the top of the order. Okay, so... That...
Sorry, you're waiting for me. Yeah, I'm done.
No, you're fine. I was checking on a couple things in some rules. That is going to lead this creature to now back away from the orb, as it does not want to take any of that terrible damage, and it is going to instead shift around to the other side of Carini, so that it now has flanking on the poor paladin, and will attempt to make good use of that. I'm going to get another die here to make this faster. The first attack is not going to be successful, even with the advantage. It barely rolls higher. Yes, but the advantage will make the second attack, as it is going to attempt to down you. Oh, oof, almost max damage. Carini, that's going to be 11 points of damage to you, and I will also need another Constitution saving. Oh, there we go.
No, sorry. The first one was
Oh, one's for the Shield of Faith. Oh, which fails. And the other one, which also fails. Carini, so then you're going to take 3 points of necrotic damage at that point, aka poison. Actually, those are not the same thing in 5e. So they, to clarify, it is necrotic. It is not poisonous damage.
And what was the total on that? Sorry.
3.
No, for the whole attack.
Sorry. The first was 11, so 14 total. Then the second one is going to also now not want to end its turn near that sphere, but is going to first off attack Carini so that it can see about getting that. Oh, yeah. All right. So first attack hits, second attack misses, even with the advantage. So that's still they're only averaging 1 right now per round, which is probably what's keeping you alive. That's going to be 8 points of damage with another failed Constitution save. You just cannot seem to get your system to respond to this onslaught of poison. So that 8 is going to add another 5 on top of it for a total of 13 damage, and Carini goes down. That is going to end the abjure on that other enemy. And
Does it do that if I go down?
I believe so. Let me double check. Oh no, because I'm double checking the errata right now. It won't be that creature's turn yet anyway.
I'll say, because reading it, that's something I was really concerned with. I didn't see anything that specifically said. I don't even think if it gets damaged, I think. If it does get damaged, it wakes up. Sorry, but I think that's the only thing that makes it go away.
It's not concentration, so I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. I just checked that. Yeah, it's not concentration. So yeah, that's static. So the abjure is still in effect. Let me put that back. Inel, that is going to put it up to you now, however.
Well, seeing Carini go down, I'm gonna say, please not again.
Oh, there's a failed death save.
And I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb at level 2 now.
Okay, go ahead. Upcasting that Chromatic Orb. Hopefully, this will be enough to... It's gonna be a whiff.
It's not my... Yeah, it's my last level 2 and I missed it.
Alright, that orb is going to go streaking past that creature And unfortunately, with chromatic orbs ruling, it's not even going to take half. There's no saves. It's just the orb goes streaking past into the night, and you can hear it like strike into a farmer's field in the distance, kind of thing. But that's it. That's your action. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
That's an action, so I have nothing else.
All right.
I'm just gonna scream in primordial for like last time, say get out of here, like to the creators to see if they will listen.
All right. They don't seem to be responding. So with that, we go now to Gale. Gale, you see Karini go down. However, this is not the first time you've watched your companions flirt with, the very edge of death. So what would you like to do during your turn?
I am going to fire an Eldritch Blast first at this one that's closest.
All right.
And then I'm going to continue to move away.
Got it. Why can't I see? Oh, that's why. Got it. I was like, you can't see the damage dot on that thing. All right. Eldritch Blast. That is going to hit. Go ahead and roll damage. All right, and with that, you are going to manage to down this creature, as despite their rather large appearance and their savage damage, these ghouls are frail, as their gangly limbs and the flesh on their bodies that has been both rotted and destroyed through combat over time is not the most withstanding of magic. And you're going to see that 5 is actually all you needed to push this one over the edge. However, the other 2 are still basically at full health, with the exception of the little bit of damage that our companion Esteric was able to do.
With that, that concludes my my turn.
Okay, from there, we then put it over...
Wait. You get your temporary hit point. You killed something.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that.
No problem.
All right. And from there, we go over to Esteric. Esteric?
Okay, I got 2 quick questions. Which initiative number is the ghoul with the flaming spear on?
Yeah, it attacked, but after it put Karini down, it didn't move.
It attacked, and I did not move it, which was an intention of mine, but I got distracted there. I had even stated that I was going to move it. So this one right here is it's on the it's on the 16 initiative order.
Okay, so it did move?
Yeah.
Okay. And then with wild magic, is that something I need to do with every spell, or is that something, because it says like the DM can ask you to, is how it's worded?
Yeah. So basically, once you're charged, so to speak, as a wild mage, I can force you to do it, or you can also elect to do it after you have cast spells of I think it's first level or higher. So that's something that either you can do or I can do, and that's kind of the back and forth of the wild mage. Sometimes it might be very beneficial for you, sometimes it might be very bad for you, depending on how, I want a situation to unfold. But go ahead if you're trying to...
Is that to roll on the table,
Yep.
or roll the d20 to... Because it's like roll a d20, and if it's a 1, you roll on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can elect to roll on the table or roll the d20?
You can elect to, I believe, roll the d20. Hold on, now I'm starting to doubt my understanding.
That was how I understood it.
I thought
think,
it was...
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to hold this up, just wanted to double check.
If you roll a 1, roll on the wild magic surge table. Yes, okay, just double check it.
Okay.
I always think I know the rules, and then people start asking questions, and I'm like, wait a minute.
All good. So I'm going to use my bonus action to ram the flaming spear back into this thing. I'm having that like weird panning thing.
Okay.
There we go.
Got it. It is going to fail its dexterity saving throw. Go ahead and roll that damage. 9 fire damage. As you see the flames begin to ripple up this creature's flesh, it burns away at what little skin and muscle is still clinging to its bone. Esteric, that is only your bonus action. What do you want to do with your action?
Can you move me 30 feet diagonal towards Karini? I'm having that panning thing and I can't move.
Yeah, I got you. 30 feet diagonal. Boom, 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 boom.
And then I'm going to cast Magic Missile. Yeah, I'll do Magic Missile 2nd level.
Alright. Go ahead and you just click that, yeah. And alright, so that's gonna be a total of, it looks like 15 damage. And not that bad. You will watch as each concussive blast crashes into Karini's assailant, one after another. The creature not showing any signs of slowing, but it is certainly beginning to show signs of wear, as those 2 attacks alone have been enough to take a significant portion of its health pool away. Esteric, that is your movement, your bonus, and your action, so that is it. We then go now to the one that is still frozen by the Abjure, and then we go to Bakran. Bakran, it is your turn. Your companion is dying in the grass beside you, but it looks like the 2 of you may be turning the tide of this battle. What do you want to do here?
I'll take the healing potion that I got when we Enel purchased them from the guy at the last tavern, and have dump it down Karini's throat.
All right, that'll be an action.
Mm-hmm.
And then anything else for your turn?
I'm going to action surge, and as I haven't been hitting, I think I'll just try to grapple it.
Okay.
Advantage.
Yep.
I have a question actually for Scribe.
What's up?
When you are enlarged, your items are enlarged too, right?
Yep.
Would a bigger healing potion heal more damage?
It would, except that you're also now larger, and so it scales with that.
I mean, if he was healing Karini.
If he, as soon as he basically begins administering it to somebody who isn't him, it doesn't have the same size. Like, if he were to hand an object to somebody else, it would shrink.
Just pouring it. All right.
Yeah.
Just,
So
just
unfortunately,
testing.
I appreciate the look there though. So that's 17 athletics. Hold on, I've got a. Ooh, that's a dead tie. What's your strength right now, Bakran?
My strength is 18.
Okay, so then you will win that tie then, because your strength is higher than this creature's.
Alright, its speed is 0.
Alright, congratulations. As you manage to grab a hold of this thing, that is going to be your action, and is there anything for your bonus, or is that it?
No, I dumped the potion down Karini's throat, and then action surge to grab it.
Sure.
So that's everything.
I don't believe Action Surge takes an action to use, though, does it?
No, it's free.
Oh.
Actually,
It's free, so you still
okay.
have your bonus, is what I'm saying.
I'm
not that you necessarily can do anything with it.
Yeah, I don't think I'll hope I don't get a disease as I grab this thing.
Right. Then we go now to Karini. Karini, you are going to rejoin us in the land of the living as the healing potion manages to knit together your flesh and blood, restoring you once again to a upright state. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
+4 for my charisma.
And that is going to, well, I guess it's just your full action. So you've got your bonus and your movement. Anything?
I don't think I have anything because I am out of spell slots.
It's after movement to get up, right? Just to be sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna stand up. I guess I'm gonna kind of move up a little. About right there. That's not next to the spear, right? Like I won't.
No,
I'll be
you're
okay
fine.
there. I'll stay there.
All right, Karini. Then from there, it goes to the. Oh, whoop, sorry, that got out of order. This guy should be the. Well, he was the one with the 16. I think I deleted the wrong model there. That's fine. So that is going to be this creature's turn now. It is going to shift once more away from the orb that is causing it.
Its speed is 0.
Oh, right, because it's grappled. Yeah. Hold on. It's going to have to deal with that. Because it's grappled, it's honestly just going to go for it. And Bakran, you are going to get bitten by this creature.
Can I use protection?
Sure, go ahead.
Yep, I invoke protection.
It's going to roll again, and it's going to roll even higher this time.
Oh, so that just imposes disadvantage, right? So
Yeah.
we can keep the roll. If that, I guess it doesn't matter if it didn't crit. Sorry.
Yeah. So, that is going to still go through. However, it is just using its bite attack instead of its clawing attack because it would otherwise have disadvantage on that, trying to attack Bakran right now. It had disadvantage anyway because of Karini's noble act of trying to shield her companion. Bakran, you're going to take a total of 7 damage, but I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from you. All right, that is going to be enough to ignore the effects of this creature's bite for now. And that is going to be it, as it doesn't really have many more options. Inel, you are up at this point. What would you like to do?
It'll take flaming sphere damage.
It will take flaming sphere damage.
Is it down?
It is not quite down.
All right. Seeing that it's getting kind of deader, I think I'm going to cast a magic missile. Just so I'm gonna to the one that's grappled, just to finish it.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Seven damage. Oh, that is
plus 3 because it's magic missile.
Because yeah, you didn't. Okay, so that is actually going to do it. Inel, you will successfully manage to basically blow to bits this creature as its arms and ribcage begin to collapse and compact, and then finally with that last magic missile, you send its head sailing through the air, and the creature goes limp in Bakran's arms as the enlarged half-orc struggles with it.
Good job, guys! I'm staying in here.
Fight's not over yet.
I
Good job.
know.
All right, Inel, that is... sounds like the end of your turn.
Yep.
Gale, you are up. What are you doing?
All right, so I'm going to continue my current strategy. I'm going to continue to distance myself from this and shoot a blast at that one. So we're still
Don't
gonna hit
strike it till we've surrounded it. I'll
Wait.
yell out. Don't
Okay.
strike it till we've surrounded it.
So I'm going to distance myself and ready an Eldritch Blast.
Got it. Go ahead and... Yep, I just saw you slide your character token right out of the screen there, and then that means, Gale, with your ready to action, we go now to Esteric. Esteric, you are up.
If I did attack that one that's abjured, would it be an insta crit?
Yes.
I might be
Wait,
able.
oh, no, hold it. It's not paralyzed. It's frightened. Sorry.
So no.
It's,
All the
it's
spelling.
stunned for a few more rounds. Let's get in position and make sure we can just crush it in one go before we take any unnecessary risks.
Cool. Then yeah, I'll ready. Yeah, I'll ready a magic missile.
Okay. Readying a magic missile. We have a readied Eldritch Blast. We go to the creature's turn. It can do nothing in its current movementless, abjured state. Then we go to Bakran. Bakran, the now collapsed form of this ghoul in your hands. You have only one enemy remaining on the battlefield. What would you like to do?
Alright, I'll toss aside that ghoul and then move up
Alright.
in front of it, and I'll take the dodge action.
All right, taking the dodge action. You got it. And then from there, we go to Karini. Karini, you are up.
Gonna use movement and dash to flank it from behind.
Okay, moving around. Then we get to the one that you had slain at the top of the order just a moment ago. And so we're back already to Inel. Inel, you are up. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna poke and say, we're going.
The readies goes off when we flanked it, right? Is that what they were waiting for?
I mean, I'm gonna
Yeah, I guess
attack
they
him.
would go. I assume they were waiting for you to attack, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was like, can we kind of count this like a surprise round? Because we could he's got 4 or 5 more rounds at least, so we could all get another action off essentially.
Yeah.
All the same, basically
Yeah,
saying
I'm
that we're
not gonna-
all one at the same time. Essentially, that way me and Bakran can all attack and we just all hammer it real quick.
Yeah, if that's what you would like to coordinate, I'm not going to make you sort
Yeah,
through the
then-
logistics of that. This creature's basically currently frozen in place. If you all
Yeah.
want to get your attacks coordinated, certainly just go ahead and roll for it, really, because there's nothing else
Yeah.
in the initiative order either. So it's basically just your team against it.
Okay.
We have advantage on range because he's flank, right?
Yeah, you also have, advantage. Yeah, you have. Everybody has
All right.
advantage against this thing right now.
Chromatic orb.
Alright. I will hit it with I'll take my longsword in both hands, putting my shield away to get that big D10.
I'm also gonna do the same with the Warhammer.
All right. The chromatic orb is going to hit Inel. Go ahead and roll damage. I see the Warhammer coming out and the longsword. Don't forget to add your size damage to the longsword. So that's 4 plus 13 plus 9. That firebolt is going to hit. Estric, were you... Quickened, got it. 6... Alright, all of that damage, let me total that up. 4, 5...
And I'll use the
3,
superiority dice to bash it as well.
Alright,
Hit.
that bashing is actually going to be what takes it over the line, as, also that chromatic orb really helped. But,
Thir- 13 fire damage is 13 fire damage.
Yeah, it's always 13 fire damage, but that 6 is actually going to be the finishing move. Even though I guess technically by the way they all rolled in, Karini's bludgeoning attack was the last one. As all of you unleash just a torrent of both melee attacks and as well as magical energy, coalescing from both the wizard, the sorcerer, and the warlock as they summon their powerful will made manifest in the form of crackling currents of arcane and eldritch power and sent hurtling towards this ghoul in the same round. It all but just explodes as all of these forces hit it at once and just cause it to be dismembered and scattered about the grass around you. that is going to be the end of this combat, as that creature is no more, and you can see now around you to the north and basically all around you, villagers have emerged to see what was going on, and guards now too are starting to arrive, even though, obviously it was, moments if not minutes too late to prevent what were already some casualties. Though everyone is starting to kind of like approach, everyone is still too nervous to let out a triumphant cheer as they look around into the mists and worry about what else may be lurking out there. But for the time being, we are now coming to a close of this session, and everyone, thank you so much. We have accomplished a good deal here, as our party is now fairly far in motion and has acquired a good bit of gold that they did not have at the beginning of this session. They have healing potions, holy water, and now it looks like the aid of some mercenary scout that they will be able to use in overcoming these trolls. With this combat complete, having calculated the XP from the last fight and not having done this one, the players are on the cusp of 5th level. This might be enough to push them to it, but this battle, as you may have observed, wasn't that difficult for these now 4th level adventurers and will not likely yield them exactly what they need, putting them almost one encounter away from 5th level, everyone, which will probably be exactly the power boost required to overcome that troll encampment in the future. Or at least, hopefully, based on what the trolls may or may not have installed as far as fortifications, superior numbers, or alliances with other denizens of Hope's Rise, mist-cloaked forests, and underground labyrinths. So, we have a precious stone to give away. I believe, right now, there's no one off the top of my head that I can think is immediately the most deserving based on what happened tonight. So I'm going to put it up to the Twitch chat. Is there a particular one of the characters that you feel like most earned their precious stone this evening because of a particular failure or success or piece of wisdom that they displayed? And if, alright, we've got one for Estric. We got one for Gale. We'll see what happens. We may end up in another roll-off here. Alright, so yeah, it's just getting scattered. Everyone's voting for everyone. 2 for Bakran, 3 for Bakran now, as the half-orc fighter is... Okay, alright. 4 for Bakran. I can't deny that. Bakran, you find yourself now once more the recipient of a precious stone. I would remind everyone, I think Bakran took the last one home as well, which means that you're on a little bit of a hot streak here. Bakran, you have the choices of the Fairy Stone or the Astrophyllite. Which would you prefer?
Let's go with the Fairy Stone.
All right, you got it. I will get that one into the mail. Thank you very much. And that means that the Astrophyllite will go on into next week's contest as Tuesday's contest as I then introduce a new stone. Thank you all so much for watching. I think that the next session will be quite eventful, as this one also was. Really, every one of these sessions brings us closer and closer to the contestants facing off against one of the boss monsters and trying to enter into the dungeon that lurks underneath Hope's Rise. So until next time, our contestants will have to strategize and deal with whatever it is that I throw their way. But I can't think of anything else to say other than thank you to Kronos Games and Gifts for our first official sponsorship. I will be probably doing another, a sponsor giveaway next session in the form of probably some dice that I will be mailing out to one lucky contestant or fan. And also go and check out Heads Up Guys, the charity that we're helping raise money for right now. They are doing noble work in spreading the both resources and information about depression and all of those things that we can do to help others and ourselves who may be struggling with it. And finally, so, you think you can quest? And here we reach the end of our tale. For now, join us again next time as the Guild of Mazes presents So You Think You Can Quest.
Yeah, I got 20 reasons right here. I don't need like to be no medicine. I'm holding 20s. I'm holding 20s. Had a dragon leash, try to break my stride. So choke the war axe right between his eyes. Been gaining on the dragon's head since 2 days past. He terrorized the town, brought him to the ground. But I've been moving quick and fight that son of a bitch now. 'Cause every day I'm hustling. Just one perception check brings every trap that's set. Oh, dungeon masters hate when I sit down to play. 'Cause I'm rolling 20s. Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. 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 I'm rolling 20s like a 60. Hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm rolling 20s like a 60. Hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm rolling 20s like a 60. Hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the player.